ye de beko ayaresabea. So what I say now, so ye ayaresabea and with a year our health policy ye wo any social protection system ye de aka health policies no make national health insurance scheme no. It means say your health bill is going to skyrocket because there will be huge public health issues or minor would have to deal with. So there will be pressure on our budget. There will be pressure on one more year juma a year health services more. Now that also will mean say you may be losing man hours because man for no entiapo into dabiano na one more ayarsabia akwa. So productivity will be low. So I hope you are putting all of these things that may make Kanyan together. Now, this is where you church and yema or ten semnasia. And so when I yetanasianopa, now ye di enkoma, me pacho you want supernity in ye, because this is where we connect the dots for you. This is where we are connecting the dot for you. So it's a ultimate control, Adriania, woman for no idea. You have a lot of control on a lot of things. Ultimately, Adriano by any be enya bi kwa amonone kokoton enya sika edi free mu. And so that is why it is critical as on mine was it me ani eko kwayo ehu. Ye Minister for Agriculture or say smallholder farmers. Woman was here about basopa. But the question is, how are we treating smallholder farmers? Ewo mamwa. Kachiri ayekado or the kasiabo ebre. That'll be the conversation. That point so I name penny for better home come and I pay. Please stick and stay with us because on common one so oh dear eka home be. Say bia what could you kwiada? We kwiana then the free mubaye. By the saying and I own tongue cost any queer. Are you even harboring the idea say ebia o baby obet me amano aqua quia? And I say oh the old giant and one no. Catch a crowd on fat Cassia Bonamre, the incomrades here.
Na Cassia Bono dear pa na open.
No crack no Cassia Bono, I jam a power home pa 12 métier, 6 métier, and he said, can be a washer piano. Métier, mon news nivia, and some now move be kind 12 o'clock no. Sana other stations nabeka. And the manager who say, Muli D. Am I whom come or cost and Sana other stations nabeka. The chat for cram manager who say, presenters no, in fact, you are very good. No more.
Nonsia aboye mo bibia ache FM happy 98.9 FM so ndana pay yemra so say and someone some chop watching akopa ba masemufo so and nana pay what na say asemu kroje no menso me de so mo say happy twakronkron kase no edi kan na nana pay and someone awure be di kase bonu akotene e bia ne say Ghana man penny John Romani Muhammad and someone to judge him says sunny and day your man ye near man no ye dear Roman chat. I may do more Ghana, you bet me in your bar or your man penia Odikan. Now, pose if once also nipper baku dumu, nay nanes as halfway, any my bonny or more ye, send ye or more, your den you and from Honomo Yomudi Bay, Southway be not or more afa. Kwati kwan so ye bia aposifo abomodenya ama omonsa aso mumu ewo hodom ebekwa no ne semu ani okopiem wo malia omonso omone US sani ombetumi ama kwan na ende watumi atu kwan dia ko hodom anaso ofiri hodom ba no malifo ayensakraa hodo ewu mu a yebeji mu entremu weni awuro bi eka ho eram de beso mu nda na pace happy twokronkron kase no edi kan na momno kase boyi obetumi aba Facebook ne so no aba behwe bi oba for adwenkyerɛ to hɔ no yɛbɛkenkan ne nyina de ama san so ɛna wobɛtumi akɔ www.happyghana.com hɔ nso kɔ a kasebɔ ne nyinaa yɛkokyɛ ne nyinaa ɛde agu hɔ no mɔborɔfo kase mu a wokɔ a wobɛnya bi atumi akenkan ɛna na pɛimi a mede kasebɔ yɛba bɛsom w'ani a megye soɔ ɛne ka kyerɛ akwasi yɛboa yɛntwa yɛn ho mmra sisi a na yɛnhyɛ kasebɔ no ase ɛmfɛma ho yɛhyɛ kasebɔ no ase a ne yɛhyɛ aseɛ deɛ fi Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama so ɛyɛ ɔno ɛna nde ɔde yɛn nsɛm akɔ akɔto dwa ɛwɔ Global Leaders Meeting on Women a ɛno no ɛyɛ nkɔmmɔ ahodoɔ a na kyerɛ sɛ amaaman ahodoɔ a ɔmo mpanimfoɔ ahodoɔ ɛda no ɛkɔhyiaeɛ ɛwɔ Beijing China aburokyiman mu ɛna Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama nyɛ akwanya kɔgyina mu bi ɛsiane sɛ ɔno nso yɛ pani ɔwɔ man mu a ɔda ya no nti na ne kase mu no ɛna de ɔde atu dwa ɛkyɛ mu sɛ ɛnde yi obebi mam ha nim sɛ pa de atitiri ne Ghana ha ɛne ya memba akwanya bebree ya ma ɔmu di bi ahodoɔ ɛwɔ man mu a ɛba ne sɛ bambo adwumakuo ne mu a bebree no amba ɛwɔ di bi akɛseɛ wom saa nso ɛde no ɛba ne sɛ atemu adwuma no mu ande yi ɛba wɔ di bi akɛseɛ paa ɛwɔ mu a ɛne Ghana ha yɛyi de nim sɛ mbampo etumi ehuri abɛyɛ temuafoɔ pani ɛwɔ man mu a ne nyinaa no ɛyɛ ade a ɛkyɛ sɛ Ghana deɛ yɛde mma ɛna ebu man no ɛka ho paa amende ɔman no nso etumi ɛkɔ n'anim na Ghana man pani John Dramani Mahama ɛkyɛ mu sɛ sɛnea ne mma no ka bɔ mu a yɛne ɔmu ebu man no ɔne ohu ne sɛ nkyɛ Ghana mpo sɛ mmerɛ yɛ koraa no ɛyɛ ade a yɛwɔ mampani abɛde kyerɛ yɛ ɔbaa na ohu ne sɛ yɛ ade nkyɛ koraa no yɛbɛtumi anya Ghana mampani a ɔno ɛyɛ ɔbaa ɛno no ɛbɛtumi aboa paa ɛsiane sɛ nde yi sɛnea aman Ghana yɛtoto yɛ nneɛma fa yɛde yɛ mma awurawura amanyɔsɛm mu yɛde yɛ mma awurawura nneɛma hodoɔ a ɛboa ɛma ɔman no ɛtu mpɔn no Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama ɛkyerɛ mu sɛ nde no ɛyɛ ade a Ghana ɛnkyɛ koraa no yɛbɛtumi anya ɔbaa ɔno ɛyɛ mampani na kyɛ sɛ ɔno ɛno yɛ ɔbaa a ɔdi kan a wabɛyɛ Ghana mampani wɔ mmerɛ a Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama ɛde nsɛm no ɛto dwa no ɔkyerɛ mu sɛn
Ghana has continued to take decisive steps to mainstream gender across our national development policies. We've achieved historic milestones, including the election of Ghana's first female vice president and the unprecedented appointment of women to leadership positions in government, the judiciary, the security services, and key national institutions. These are not just symbolic gestures. They are deliberate affirmation that women deserve a seat at the table of the highest levels of decision-making. And I am confident that in the very near future, our women will break the glass ceiling and there will be a woman president of the Republic of Ghana.
Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama ne ne ti ya wote sɛ amanfo bo nsɛm de ma no paa titire no ma no sanse ne Ghana hanom sinko bae mampani ne Her Excellency ne de frɛ no ane yɛkɔyɛ nim ɛno ti Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama de nsɛm ni atodwa ɛwɔ Beijing China arochima mu Emrahye badwani ɔno gyina mu ma de hyɛ mo asenov abatro mpɛso aso no kura yanso ɛne Ghana hanom sin ɔne ɔsɔfo be de kyerɛ a ɔhwɛ amanone ensɛm so metɔne oyamfo James Jachi question na ɔno ɛna yɛnuanom nkuma a ɛnde yi wawie ɛyɛ BC a ɛnde yɛ hwɛ ne mu sɛ nyame yadom betumi akɔ entroaso suku ne ade yi bebre na ho kyerɛ nti ebi krampo enya chop box ne mattress ɛne trunk ɛmfenko school na ɛno no oyamfo James Jachi question Oyambra shebedwani wo asen no abatro mpeso aso nti wada adwene ho ehu ne se ne manfo no odi omo so no ese so hwe na obo omo pa na ono so ye obi a ho mesua eda na koma so yiye enu ntie nei enema wudo bebre na eno de akoma eye adechia omuwe bi si nsohwe no e wasen no abatro mpeso aso a wasan bi mu krampo enya scholarship ni ade entu hwa Grace Abeka sing ende wenya scholarship a ono odi wremu akwa kopem se obewie suapon eni afoforo bi nso enya omode a ye chiche ne ma hodo ene omotro bi si nso hwe ni wieye no eni pennum a abatro mpeso aso hono na mansim hono omutumi huri din konem ene eye Larison Robert Darin onya bi kwache Stephanie na afi so no Sian Francis Oko ene Grace Abeka no ende krampo no wanya scholarship yi ene anu Mary dede omu nyina ya de a se ni penumi omu no muhuri ye ene bi si so hwe no omu afafo bi antumi omu a omu kɔ mu edim kra ene nde onu yafo James Jachi question akoya adoye na adoye na se na waye dia mom one the trunk ne chop box ne books sika ka ho mi musanya scholarship o den se mo atudwa no o chemu sen
ena no population adoso asase ne kura yini bia ye do eno nti na ma desua ya de ehia papa eno nti na ya ko education abase akura ba ko wa no awie school ya me ya dum no tumi akọ college or be nurse or be teacher or be the police or army. The foundation or producer, we are sowing the seed. Foundation nearly or has his assembly bear. And Kurano, every who said that or mine or team no money also.
Emra shebe ni onu gire mu madehia mu asen of abatro mpeso aso onu kure yanso yoso afo abedi chihwe amano nsem so nu yanfo James Jachi question ne ne etiye na no achi na bankra chipani onu so asen of onum oru yanfo Sylvester matching ako enso ebo emra shebe ni abaso papa se nie ne fefo bebre no ne omukọ emra shebe dwem na nso omummoa enso ndei oru yanfo James Jachi question atumi atwa nani aba behwa adesuafo mu asen nofa and I say any dia.
Your man penny I was shame bla ode kwa Ghana mine. Na asen of yene so yenya chafa ewumu. Ye buy and chair. Secondary school headmasters are when na be dance you say. Secondary school bia when you push out I didn't push begum for brand new one. School bia enya bi. Ye chair better na pepe. Jade enkunya pepe ankwala tra ho ni bi. Ya cha nya baby an nya bi. Baby nya bi. E da ho from so omuto e nya omode. Make us enkunya a teacher for that transo so you could swear education director o che bi e ho no. Ya di amane so won che. Ade bebe bia no, de baba mo nsaka to ba nza ye dai aka bi. Ya nka ngu ho e ntwansi nya bi aka ho ansa.
Eni yi eya bankra chipani ono wa asen of abatro aso onu yanfo Sylvester amachinyako na ne krakra no na disuafo mo so ende omunya achede ho mfaso ede enase twitwiri de onu yanfo James Jachi question dia
Meridede ano mefrasi ntoku ene anope honorable James Jachi question ma ye hu ade fefe tisese so onu so ade a ye hu bi da na ene anope wa ma ye hu bi ye se asida ye da mase so wa ma ye hu ade fefe etisese Holy child.
Yes, school.
Holy child.
Yeah, holy child.
Part-time. What shall mediation say? And none of pay mattress ne trouble say or the amami. May shan boss say, Semico SHS. Mayor me who na me senior dear ye na me to me a passy was. No about be doctor in future.
Edi maba wa no anasa disuafo na ede onu yanfo James Jachi question eyo mo adoye mattress trunk sika bukisi eniema hudo bebre ode momo no baako na chese wenya holy child a opeso be doctor kra wehu eye kama pa na everyone no enko doma hinkru ene ogopiem odoma hinkru Presbyterian Hospital ho no ende yetu emafo se omomomodin a afriwe anaza bosumi we akoye breast cancer awareness month na chese ye de hwe kokra we ya etonufo mu no emma momodin ya na bosumi bia no mota akwa check up akwa hwe se yade ni bia na akokram ni bi eto omunufumu anase etesenya beni ono ene oye public healthness ewo eye ayasabia hono madam Florence Ifa ono de afutui akwama emma se omomodin na ende no de eye kokram etomunufumu no eya no abomoni akwa
so who say no for no esisaya ba ho a kwan ben so na befa so obi hu ene say time bia wo nim no for no the way ete nti say esisaya bi ba ho a wo ne ntem e very very important I was say wo ho no ma wo check wo no for na hu say na me no for shape tie bo so me bia I was say wo check kan ka wo bu wo nsa wi a na wa check wo mu wo nsa so a fa si wani so say bo so me bia we bo modern ayden e de wo nsa afofa ho apagya ase no nyina ahwe wa ahwehwe ma hu se de color no ne bibia eti enti sesan ba ho a obi ho wo no fo se o ma akwara no fo a eni se nsu efri mu ba bi kwa ho a wo ho da enso omia no fo na ensu efri mu ba wo na wo se ko hu gynecologist se be ya ensi wa wo ho kwan afi nso wo se sansan bi egu no fo no ho ana se no fo na no tuntum no ho apagya ho aye se de ase de abobobo ntokuru ni na wo se wo ye de wo de ba hospital
enti evutre yedi akwa membe every madam Florence for no public healthness ewo do mahinkru Presbyterian ayasabia eno ewo honom na Ghana police for aye adwumaso no bia enipa bako edu a chese omoromo afa bafu kwanso bu amanfo kro no ende ye nim se ende yi chese wo honom a utumi wo adwumemu no utumi oda aduane ne de abrew kama na samina ntia ni maba wai omu ye dui na chese omu afakwati kwanso na omu ankasa aye omu apu bia ene ekọ no manuane ahodo se KFC o se pizza manyo se danyo enuane ahodo bebre no ya yeta oda no na chese omu de agoti sembre me no ka ade ni so omo ye ne nye papo omo de ji amanfo sika ne ade sa na positive abomoden ama omo nsa aso mumu a ene enipa nsia kro mu din kan so mumu no ene wonder sedinam amagulu ka ho goswe ka ho ene Angela ozu ka ho Matthew aheto ene fafalia mo a omo nyina na chese aposifo edin kan ensa so mumu suga ko pene ne patemu a ekire so emu nan so omo abechi omo aka ho asemre ye hwe ni mu se yade omo kwa kopie mu wasem ni bia na yetumi aka omo asem na posifo nsemu ane eda so wonso ene Ghana posifo mo gba adwuma papa kwa santimantemu a ene omo nsa aso abrante ba ko bi mu a ono wenye mfihye 20 years po jese Collins aboaje ene eye Solomon Opoku omuye biedu jese semranti ene krono de omfa nye hwe ombe wia osisi a ena posifo abomoden a ensa so mumum ewa asante mantemu a jese Collins ne de ehwehwemu a aposifo aye no enya asem keto buze abranti ene motorbikes honom hwem no odeko obeba na jese moto ni isi honom a na Collins de kode dade asem we na esi yenom eye aposifo abomoden amomonsa aso omumu ewo eye oboase ene ne mpatemu a na sembre no kra no na Collins ene ni pinja sese oton motorbike na ono wakwa akowia no wehu wakwa akowia sembre omonsa aso ni mu ewo honom a omo hwe ni mu se onso mu de no bukwa kopie mu ewo asem bia na Ashanti South Police Command na chese omo so mu de ensem atodwa HM zendei senia enipa bone sem ekoso horom no omo aye krado pa sendi ombehwe na bambo bi esese omo so mutumi bo de man ne manfo ne amanfo ewo Asante mantem titiri obo ase ne mpatem no omo atumi abo de ama omo nti ensem krampo no assembly member wo hodom eye Francis Apia enso kesi su people say no krese ene sabi bi sesi Collins ni nipa ko wia motorbike eni aposifo ewo honom abɔmmɔden a ɛnsa aso omumu yango wie kasebɔ no ɛwɔ amanone ensemu ɛde a ɛnde ukopie mu ɛwɔ Maliman mu a Malifo ne de nhyehyɛ soronko aba betu dwe sensende yi sɛ United States of America USA sɛ ɔmode ahoho ɛne ɔmudi pote nkrɔfo ne ade no ɛde Malifo nso ayɛ nhyehyɛ ahodo nti ɔmo aso ɛyɛ a ɛhwɛ amahodo nsɛm so ɛno ɛwɔ ɔmukropɔn Bamako ɛna kyɛ sɛ nhyehyɛ firi hɔ no mu a Malifo sɛ utu kwan akɔnye o visa ho nsɛnsɛm ne nyinaa no ɔmo ayɛ ho nhyehyɛ soronko kra ɛno nso ɛwɔ hɔ ma ha ɛna yɛde kasebɔ ne nyinaa AC wɔ Happy 98.9 FM so sima wo de kasebɔ ne mu akotena bi ne sɛ ndey Ghana man pani John Dramani Muhammad nsɛm atodwa a ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ ɛne Ghana sɛnea eniama ɛkɔ no ɛnkyɛ ibenya ɔba a ɔno edi kan ɔbɛyɛ Ghana man pani ɛwɔ man mu saa nso ɛna posifo nso ɛbɔ mmɔden a ɛnsa so nipa edu emu a ndie online food delivery omu ye bi na ndie scam pa ombewi awsisia weni awudo bi aka ho ɛna ende anapemi de besom se Happy twekronkron kase no edi kan me amedi kase bo ye besom edi amegye so ene kechre akwasi yebo amesori su de na yera Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah Madam Fati Shaibu Ali ene Prince Poakwa Brown the Happy morning show no ena toaso edi amamu me mo bibia mo nitia adeshe
amame wazaba sewa bonyuma dompe ya kukompo so bizasa kiniye nimdawa bombonchen nkasi ya bonsusuwa A1 agopura musamsu shunku Happy FM wazabo Happy FM Nijenkwa Amame wazaba Sewa bonyuma Dompe ya kukompo so bizasa kiniye nimdawa Bombonchen nkasi ya bonsusuwa A1 agopura musamsu shunku Happy FM wazabo Happy FM Nijenkwa
Mamenda ETV na onye Happy FM so ase. In fact, no currently there Mabaya MP, the very first media platform I mean as a parliamentarian was the ETV media platform. And
Breakfast TV.
Yes, because the Nimpana me na appear on brother our NDC side Mutala Mohammed, you know. So then if you are browsing a Happy FM, you know. So it was at ETV in Kakanga, and then you know the party now said, oh, call this other station, and all. So ETV, I don't want to say more exposure, Kahubina, Yedu, Umbonsu na ejuma pa moye. One koda one ye ejuma na one famboa or man Ghana because maye wani ye kebi me kebi.
Yeda masifa Happy die yan timu ana special media man timu da kura intiminta. Da masini mon chese. Ya ni kama formuna mu kama yi. Ya men kama ono mo no me nyina ho adi na no kwenu. The Bible says from Ukraine ton ton da chi e ben abuti Africa. Timu pa nyakupo mo no nchita. Masifa bibi amekase Happy FM wangu. Emi jai Happy tipa. Na me kope ka keep a pen drive ma chip picture mo kanu krepa.
Welcome to Tuesday morning.
Obusa semwa na saumba na ene mutumia nka isi nchofo nyina ho.
Mangana, adeshe mama, 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 swear. Mama, ye febia, kuyani, odo, and fansumi, many. Now, many, ye yakasara, japadea. Yana no di abebre said it to her maya. Ain't you a 7 and say, yes, I'm gonna Anya Sapa, Dachin Chiliba, Baba Bemoyan for Minia, so brave baby, Papa Gana, Nagana Bayo, Elio, if a minuaro, so brave baby, Papa Gana, Nagana Bayo, Elio, if a minuaro. Batana, Yamieshra no da 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 da, Wamanu near my penny nala, now I'm a nodo. Eyasa se batana, Empe Oku, Ejia Hokueni, Nebivia Siasuria, Intia Seminal say, Yasum Gane, Anya Sapa, Dachin Chiriba, Baba Bebuyan for Minia, so brave baby, Wabwagana. Nagana Bayo, Bayo, if we be no so brave baby, Wabwagana, Nagana Bayo, Bayo, if we be no
There are a lot of things happening in this world. Niema bibrinwa na ekoso ewo ewiasimu a empempino me say yenshedam fe ni enhwa. I mean, it is some of them Brunibeka say they are very spooky, mysterious. And so there are a lot of some of these odd stories that you get to see, you get to watch, you get to read about. One of them that I heard of last week, Bakubi Ametie, now a woman who appeared at an airport out of nowhere. Na yebusan baby free. Ne passport or the chre she will say she's a well-traveled woman. But then unfortunately the country that she was coming from, oh no, it's true. See, there is evidence. There is evidence over here. And this is not the first time. I think that this is almost the fourth time or something of that sort. And she was. But it's happened before a couple of times. So, question of people trying to say, you will be asking for a while now. Now, okay, you will be asking for a while. Are they? Is it because of the fear of the unknown and accident?
No. We are a woman. There are a lot of mysteries. And you know, it's not something that is shocking to me.
Okay. But it's here, no. If a portal opens up and says a rapper Fatisha Boli, you do call Tourette.
It doesn't exist, Master.
Okay.
It doesn't exist.
In your world, it does not exist.
See, people are just scandalous. And they just like to make things up. And, you know, they just like to make things up.
So you mean to say evidence that were found of
what
people?
Evidence?
Evidence found of people using people using screen touch phones as far back as 1930s, you know. And also, there is visual evidence of that. Oh, then I'll pull up some of the videos. You know, I like some of these stuff. I am a common. Almost wire. Yeah.
these especially me person about Day, they are always looking for some mistake in your maybe a senior. Amuna kombenya abosoma
Onazo mu
akanya nuni.
Omu hu kwa fa so mu ye no.
Omu nya abosoma. Akanya na yete.
Enga bari san koma yede.
Can you omu to de be omu hwe say bibi be feel stra better form na ye. They are looking for aliens and all those things.
Energy, of course, energy. But anyway, yamo akwa bi mfam happy morning show no so na no pay. Because a friend of mine the nene and Sunday na many didn't come on say. Said I call the United States of America. People are planning on say ombetimi pescadia tour and they go to Mars. And then maybe Sagana
like people want to go to Mars.
Yes, they will.
So no problem in New but one person go for biba. Omunye skana na ebro so ha. Nse some bebre bi amayedi no.
Na omudi yede.
There are people a more profession. Ultimately, to do these things, to make these discoveries, to do these research.
Yes.
But Munyes Kanana Bros you do not have the expertise and all that. No more conquer whatever it is that you want to conquer.
Oh, but
in your life.
They are also
was it a ship that's sinking yana? Just recently one.
A mini submarine beer. Oh, sikanini in the back
why?
So they wanted to see what's going on under the sea.
No, I
and there is also
there
another.
Are people and you know they have had years and years of training. Any idea? Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah no. Also person okoshe ponase.
Dem say o se meeting. They say o se meeting hunu bi.
Na ye den.
Said you me ba meeting aka ne ye.
Oh,
because I need to see what's going on down there. Said you me ba ebi obi bu say me meeting aka ne ye. What you say? I mean it's
Ghana hanka by now. Ghana ha isikafo. Munko etiwa forest ni mu e.
Na ngom ko de.
Munko deep munko hwe de ekoso wo he.
Munko etiwa.
Amu ankomwe o. Ye nkofo ya.
Omu ko pede o.
Na pronounce no omu ko pede o.
So one of the almost said there is life under the sea. And so they really wanted to see the kind of life under the sea.
No omu ko hwe anajo se na e hotie. Ghana is kafo no.
Anajo.
Omo mpe adventure.
Debi.
Ghana is kafo mo mpe adventure.
Ye de be sit down.
Enu ani ka asa kese ni dan.
Na e de abi enwuma kakra zo aka.
Nko hwe ho nwu se bia. Bibi wa mbe discover edi bibi be
anajo no ne e discovery.
Anka evil forest ya mo se wo we. Na nka mu ni nemu. Oh,
anajo ne e discovery.
Naga.
Na ho anajo ne bo no ndum yenu kra na e ka tro se pia.
Na ebia. Reverse. Nanga mu hihye wa dive mu.
Oh, reverse.
Ko hwe se abosom na eye omote amo hyase ho a omo wo fie mu omo timu ne there are other people like life is there life there.
One will catch fish or soon to sell that.
Yeah, be.
Be that. Ebi o. Yes, ebi o.
Wow.
Yes, me tamani eko kumumu.
Kumumu zo ne.
Na ye, emfa ne say according to legends, ukwa kwiase a edurubere bia na opisia ne nsuo ho ade ne pa.
Okay.
And so there was a deity that they consulted. And no, yeah, my nsuo no. Eba beda ho. So it was like a big reservoir. You find say bia be aha. Eko baby a man for ba mo no. So it was a very big thing.
Okay.
Now they said say e benada any yawa da yankokumum. Nti say obo hompem na okwa. There's obehu de you. Nti me we kwa de nya benada na it not also there were periods omoko to thank the date na so according to them and there was a day that meneme nana nyamkopon fa na currency nana benkum hene there was a day oka se yenko na yemfa because onu Ibrahim finti yenko okugun sane de keke kan Fati ogun sano adwene na obaye no adwene ni ti I have no idea. I have no idea. Or the aduane ne nsan to ogun sano we no ja aduane no e de tu nsuo no. And it's anya normal catfish na ye call a year na say we do some point to you. Anya normal catfish ni bi o. Many gani. Then the be and so those mysteries are there. And of course who can see us no empenyin fon be can stories are found be brain no. Ede.
Na say enye obi na nche ne wi yente na ada wa na
anyway obi anche. So the mysteries, of course, some don't become there, but why is it that we don't talk about our mysteries? And it's part of our heritage.
We don't explore.
We don't explore. We don't explore. Prince, weather updates, you be doing because make I pass.
Sefah say, "Mami be fi country be
it doesn't exist in the world. Yes.
Ewa America.
Yes.
And the Muguswa or Mubisa Bisana no as I know here.
Yes.
You believe it? And I walk off passport to be.
I'm going for passport.
I say Torre, say.
Yeah, Torre.
When I walk off a passport to be, I believe you more.
Diana say.
Diana. Oh.
Why is it not in the major news portals?
Yes,
why?
Okay. So nipa naira. And nipa na you see ni baby ayira kwa.
But keep cause we are na yet no. Ye dai nechi. Is it echi? Ye dai nenim. There is like a farm bio ho. And a bridge bio ho. Insuo e wase. But insuo no meaning say gata o. Say a real insuo etini o say den yo. But esuntino bridge o you also. Nti me fie no is on the bridge.
Okay.
Right. And they be almost say owo bi wo ho. Owo kese te say wo.
Yeah, anaconda there
and or shiny and whatever. Into a jay there, a not yenam hoa. Into one day, a real pa like as a one, a real bo. Papa be between you who and say, we hurry as you step down on the bridge. That's where the insuno one.
Yeah,
we hurry back and see bridge and so, and I say, my bro, who for jay. Nathania, on Kevu told you that they appear. The whole so sad. Say, hey, or will be a me who are a die, ya, a shiny to say, diamond, you know. Me who be the me who dreaming.
Tino Jazz is auto.
I was saying, my bro who wait down mobile because I want a man and a pay.
Assembly.
Suddenly, one day to me, I cry am better one. I dare say, Quadrant, and they did. I should hear one see any more. Yeah, but at least about 2 people.
A confirmation.
But that man, he say, no, but trim keke.
Yeah.
Like
so he's not from the area until okay.
Into what will make him, jump up and sing Moburehu Fuja.
Fatima, Mami, some of these things, do we teach them enough? Like you said, we are not exploring them, but do we teach them enough to engender a certain sense of curiosity? Say they be a man for I explore into some of these things as on mine. Do we teach them enough?
So. I don't think so. And now, no, suddenly we are say ABA, and how we've been brainwashed, sort of, to discard our own, I'm not going to what's what I say? Me, I lived up in that house for over 10 years. I never met the Owo. I never saw the Owo. And so you could not try and I should
so one mother.
But to be on
but were you eager to see it?
I wasn't eager, but it was at the back of my mind to say, Omusi Bibisa Ewoho. What's my say? I knew, sort of.
But you were so
but
you were.
One thing
there was a level of consciousness.
We were told to say area.
Okay. We are now be hono. But they be as we are no more nifi.
Yenamwa obianso yenamho ne ade. But after that man incident ne there, na mintumi mfa ho.
As a usuru. Ihun kakra ball.
Yes.
I'm Prince because Prince also a hot day.
Fancy no more charming money by what's it?
The so commodity say a cancer for one and even the generation almost is here me bring one him kumo.
At the area na.
Almost saying.
Oh.
Almost saying. Because net that me na non plot. Eso. Too far. Oh, from the way it looked, of course, it was a reservoir. So that's what I'm saying. It was a reservoir. And no musi. It's a reservoir no musi. And no mukope date no more. Yes, audience you no baby gum.
Or the fee never go with tanka.
A hot day. Oh,
Sefah.
Yeah. Nanamu Akubibiaba, Bomodi and 20 minutes to the top of the hour 7. Happy morning, Jono. Tuesday's edition.
This car, this bus was endangering the lives of a lot of people
on the road,
on the Achimota and Som road.
Okay.
And what package you want? On package, be one a man, no, I bet you with him. We'll drive, no warning. And the driver kept doing that. When him say, "Oh, what to say? Oh, for highway no so highway no so." We are then across it. A bit a great bank no, sign cross it, another side. Sign cross it, that side. And so we say across it say, "Oh, faster highway no so." Like no, as on him, baby all far. On traffic on Yashi. Meanwhile, they had boldly written our car nature say for careless driving, call whatever. The number is there.
Okay.
But
Nana,
features road national. I was wondering, so Kokumas. Honestly, I didn't see inside to see say passengers room and now be in him. So Kokumas say I was dreading it for whoever was on board. I did not all year. Our kind so and run.
Nana Fatoma Ghana for and I know Sabia will belong to one company,
You want to bully other cars on the road,
yeah.
Who endanger a man for lives. Ebia no car ketua no be bom ebe moano. Na we nya moaye.
Nana so no kwa ne de na ma the other vehicle no. The other vehicle, we penny a we penny a pay. The other side, no, there is another car. You're not the free. We don't want that. We want this one. Yeah.
This is the car, and I didn't see the sides because you say
sneaky on the road
sides, to see at the say there are different
companies.
Yes. Or more buses. Yes. It may who which one of them are, but that's the car number. Right there.
But see, no more motion, they will be able to see. So GE 5539-15. And it's not just this. And Ramebano on the motorway. And Ahomanachi car say, Prince, Unim say, Adia driver no dear sequan swa indicate seka na say no. Eye Kufuor gallon.
Kufuor
gallon. Any mura. And or dear just about, I'm say 6-7 meters away from baby a car, and I say yes, you know. I'm talking about on the motorway. On the motorway. So a big car like that is not having any sign indicator be out the 15 meters away from where the car is messed up. What I say, car na say. Into bar and also free 3 bar to boise, and that is also endangering the lives of the road users.
So a car where I was with Fatty, honestly, and the no say because a normal driver will not do the no because kwama samai.
Okay.
Yamfa enti ofri Achimota.
Yeah.
Old station one now kwama samai. Common sense. Your driver he fan now be di.
Inner lane
even if there's traffic. Even if there's traffic. anti traffic na ɛwɔ anim ne dɔɔso ɛna the outer lane ɛhɔ na wa ebi a ɔkɔ dɔme anaa ɔkɔ St. John's anaa sɛ ɔkɔ
Fanko
sɛ ɔfanko mpo deɛ depending baabi a wa load no so yɛn yɛ wɔ the outer lane koraa car wei wɔ ne inner lane no wabu afa obiara anim aba abɛdi outer lane traffic ni yɛ sɛ eflow kakra na ɔsan di mirika na wasan twa kwan no mu na wasan akɔ inner lane ɛhɔ nso ɔkɔ na ohun sɛ ɛhɔ akyi a abɔdam sɛm na ɔmɛnti aseɛ because you see your usual normal driver ɛnyɛ deɛ na driver no ɛyɛ no and me busa me won say enti we ode kwan yɛmfa n sɛ ɔkwan paa sɛ ɔkokumase o sɛ ɔkɔnkɔko sɛ ɔkɔkɔnongu sɛ ɔkwan enti driving say ya no be drive ya na sɛ bi ana traffic ni wom sɛ time no enti na ɔda saa suban na dia and see enye ono nko a enye driver we nko a na yesa there are a lot of drivers omo de car si kwan so a enema we ya na omo ye ena okay enye car ketewa bi a obetime kura ye ne ntentem de awura ha kura de
yeah
guys
so I'm surprised that
and he said or basaya so obi agina na obehye ho onya hye ho wie ya I'm not too sure if it was empty
mostly they might encounter na all the empty VIP buses and I'm fine so no more driving.
Empty VIP buses are omonam sa kwan that's how they drive.
Yeah, that's how they drive.
So I want
like
but
so
MTTD
I want to believe say we na empty enutina he could
was
behave
doing
the way he was behaving. Okay. I'm sure say no you empty because odwin ho a me say me busa fati say what is happening then ye no because me na mente the oye na say eno yes ansana entimi mpo de atepona me fi so e bia okọ like okọ e bia domi ana St. John's ho baby me hwe se hwem before the traffic light no the traffic light na e wo ye fro mposen new plan ho na ye hwe se odimirika wa san hwem watwa bia ni mo akọ eye inner lane ho afi traffic ni so ya okọ na me se ena me kai ye yesusada na sem bia me ka kiro yesusana papa bi no wo ka
besin go
na fati no wo ka e wo chebi na me ka no na ye ase ka sa ka no kra ya me refidi ba ka sa etailu di pa free circle ne
Bedford ni bia na
enye Bedford me refi said ye friend no etailu du mu amufa circle ko taifa no car say tai ekoho pa ayete say 207 ba short ones ni bi no
okay
na ye ntwitwa
ho
na enye glass nti uchemu a ayete say container mu na wo hye na fati say oti car no ma na wo ye no overtaking ono no pentem nko be bia otena car no ma ne na hia na medu akra na wo ye no overtaking a osi o besinko car na wa ye no overtaking hye na nimo so o munya no besinko nti the empire na me gba ne se ono nko an no tim nti suban a oda na di de se onko an na atimu a odi konya wa mane a se onko a wa mane and I want to believe se ono nko an na tim and I know yes sir nti car with registration number GE 5539-1515 no yen hwehwe no na sabio se ye de ne be ko psychiatric hospital
na hwe na adwunu mu kakra
I think say DVL for so mode as part of eniema a obeya a obetimi a pass you examination enya wo license no say yemfa psychiatric
examinations on van kan
said the obeko eye clinic akwa examine we ni ansa na ade akono so mo fa no so enka ho sanse
And you kind of now, young fancy, I guess, you're Chief Executive Officer of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, or Nikwe. Julius Logas, the donor friend Logas, the grassroots president. Yamfanchi Yamfan Commando. Now Yamfanchi Yamfan Command Penny form that MTT Diano. Penny the MTT Diano. I would like to find out. But Yamfanchi Yama IGP. Anope, Dr. Christian Tete Yohono.
So a doctor.
Say the doctor account. I don't want to.
Mbeshana JTech be ambetron letter yes.
Okay, all right. And Yamfa IGP. Ora Christian Tete Yohono. Na yen kan tell ni say omomodi amfo ni enhwe achimota kwan so de ekọ ofanko pokuase ne de ka ho no yesi adrobafo ni bi edi ensenhunu pa e wo sa kwan so achenkafo ahodu ni bi omonam sa kwan so no ensenhunu pa na omudi ho yempa akwanchie bia tiesrew ayafo ne hwe oman yemfa da obokrata ahodo ne nano pa abadwo no yemfa atifinsem no famre atifo na efo na pay live on the show this morning 10 minutes to the top of the hour 7 empanyimfo bia ni aka eyenkoma na yedi no say whilst you go elsewhere omochre witchcraft yes omochre witchcraft no yen witchcraft no yebuni say ya adebone enti yese yenchi omfa nkogu baabi na yente witchcraft no famfrom ani so na omomra me sin. And the question I was but I wanted to answer, but to me answer. And I think that we need to have time to have this conversation. Certain aspect of our culture, certain aspect of our heritage. Yeah, amamrani amani from Binuno. Why is it that we seem not to be talking about them? Why is it that we seem to be demonizing them? But one more are in awe of those aspects of our culture. Yeah, they say that in
say me more can cry na me so me come back be emre bi emotia be fa obi ba free fie koyo.
The keeping it real on the happy morning show na no pay.
I know I cry no Kumasi I know away.
No, on it yes. On ne maame akola ketu a yawo no. Ne maame ye ne ho ade ana odware na wi ode na to ho.
Ode na to he abonten.
No, ode na to dem. Eno no nso wo kitchen. O kwadwo beka ya okoye setting na. Efie no kitchen no abonten. Eno ye. Okoya akola ne na ho. Ye bodewuru ho na abefa kole ho na abefa kole ya. Kwansi na akola na asan aba
oye den no buy on ante ye
no buy ye hwe akire no na chese ye motia ne hwim no
mu ko hwe akire wa hin
there's a way you can actually find out.
There's a way abetimi afachire ehu de na emotia
fati is in disbelief onyini
me anso me nanfo
ada na motia mbefa wanko
me nanfo bi no omukọ efuom omuba no emotia edi baako efa baako ede ne kọ ya kọ ne nam ya
no sand ne ba
enti baako ne bedu be ewia be wana ni nua na one ne na baako di anima baako di akire no ono bedu be 6 pm almost 7 pm
anajo ne koka se motia na afa ne nua no
ukọ hwe kire be ka kire se baabi amukọ ye no eye motia dwusu nti se wama when wachi wahu na afa amade a motia ne de ne kọ baabi ekọ kire ne bibi normally omo se omo fawa omo kọ kire o omo kọ kire o no asema
omo kọ kire bibi achima hwe ni ase
yes
eastern region
me say ode no kọ ya kọ ne nam ya ode ni bedu ye no na ewiem abribri ehiem abribri ansa no de na eba enipa mienu bi ni nua
nti after that
ketwa no bedu ye panini de ne kọ ye kọ ne nam ono a na beka na kosem okọ ba bia ohun bi da onim mpo se ewo kro na mebo ahwene ase no saa ba bi na
yedi ne
kọ ye no ewo ho wanfa bebi ama
dem say no enya bibi na ode ba o kire bibi
omo bibi o se efe udru be like there's a certain that Who be that?
And then so what shall moti a bit me for be and then they said the panel called the Android in the name. So call me to pictures.
Those locations is how they manage Ejuma.
Oh yeah, the pictures.
But in 1939 or touch screen.
Send Emma utrimu mpo se bi e show humpa yes o kofimi.
The experience is different.
Yes. Yes.
Island here what say India or say one baby almost in nipa nko ho na they are off grade.
The Andamans.
Omo brain.
Yeah.
Obi anko so kwa akotwa wonim. Ebi bufu mu nye but abrofo de ombe.
Okay. Odi ade nyama abrofo. Na yemfa na yemfa weather update na ma ho.
Ebi nsu anensuato.
Ebi nsu anensuato nti. Na mo akoma mo so tew. Ne eyemutia ne eye mysticism anopay na age show nafa. Na mo akoyemfa Papa is interested in this conversation. Akram we am afro. We am afro. And I think that they may want to the belief no dear do no and because of do na beka say advancement then inti enema bebre no anan kan e koso a gidi no say do no ano enche dan nyini they want evidence
two way na moti abefa Timothy kakari kwa ongo twa pictures meche
Right with kakari and of na Ghana met you say and pay no it will be cloudy my main kind of brofo as mentioned in the weather warning issued earlier. The rainstorm is currently affecting parts of Uti and Volta regions. The storm is expected to make westward movement, producing rain and thundery activities over areas in the transition sector. Mist and fog patches may develop along the coast, hilly and forest zones during the early hours of the day. As the day unfolds, sunny intervals are expected in some areas. However, rain and thundery activities are anticipated over places along the coast, middle, transition, and northern sectors. Oko Pimu Volta region, New T region. Ghana Metro say, Omboy Kokose nsuo bi efri Nigeria famu eba sisa nsuo no ebi aba be Pimu Uti ene eyefra mantemu a nsuo no egugu ho pa. Ose eda no ekona ni mo na ehwe ni mo se nsuo no betumi atoto ewo oman afa na bebre no ano oko oman nkrutu ahodo no aban epo oman finfini fam baabi enkwaye ni nsuo ewo no oman atifi fam ewo bra premu ato no ehwe ni mo se nsuo no betumi atoto enwumre obra no nsia bo no oman afa na bebre no ano yenhwe ni mo se nsuo no betumi emirim na nanim nkrutu bi etise oboase takwa se hwebekwaye ne mpotem okopiemu ewo wa Bolgatanga, Damango, Boli, and an important way. If you are saying between me to ama a viewmu abum. Samson, I could be more goes to Sunya, Tachiman, and important one. If you say, maybe a home soon boom, and maybe also should be to me to ama a viewmu abum. That's by way of weather update from Ghana Meteorological Agency. Gisrael appear and only if you cruising some gun cratas or and also petting Edma and so Bobby so at the amateur for an live on the happy morning show. Young father, Bocrata, hold on at the Emrayam on the toto. You have a main cow say, you be caught near Quack social media trends. And someone who do a idea him a wabel from Tintan, Cassian is going to a ho, a rapapa, fatty, shabu, a little quack na wabon semino, toffa, a doso poopa, what the Nina Abrain and a pay for chronicle double cratano, Emray. Na yem 47 being from a telephone for nan pay.
Yeah, they Job 24:16. In the dark, they dig into houses. They shut themselves up by day. They do not know the light. Grumble over missing 2 million Ghana gas cash. Ewaha. $2 million SkyTrain trial. Amir Kumfi's cancel withdrawals from case. KGL Group congratulates the Ghana Black Stars Symphony of the Jordan Ayew. Ewaha. Saso ena bakoso eka hon. Self-styled National Security Officer arrested over alleged 450,000 cedi Toyota V8 fraud. Grandfather hauled to court for allegedly interfering with late son's estate. Mother, son in court for allegedly defrauding contractor of 155,000 cedi in land deal. And also Ewa Hanum Saso Ena 2 arrested for robbery murder at Trapia Se Abu. And also Ewaha. Minister orders arrest of Asemco Butre hooligans. And also Ewo Ahanuma Ube to me Enye bi Akain. Other stories are Ubenya Ewo paper numu essay Nana Kofi Entry's development agenda for Odumase at a glance. Ube to Enye bi Akain. Century Aviation undertakes successful demonstration flight to Ho Airport. GSS boss calls for investment in agricultural sector. Saso NA4 remanded over possession of suspected narcotic drugs at Circle. Yekwa Nigeria diary anymore. Government plunging Nigerians deeper into hardship. Bitobi ena eka. Mekram plunge deeper into hardship, but me in Nigeria. Saso ena as soon strike. Government direct vice chancellors to stop lecturers' salary. Eno ewaha. Genocide allegations against Nigeria unjustified, says Eye Bolaji Akeyemi. Government to disburse 6.3 billion naira interest-free loans to 21,000 flood disaster victims. Ewo Nigeria memu. Ninyina offer the chronicler ubenye bi akan.
Mpacho yemfa the Ghanaian Times entwaso ene anopay banner headline. Relief at last. Nurses, midwives to receive 10-month salary arrest. Inti enonso health minister ene disa en same way atujwa. Kwadwo I think say it's shameful say CMA nurses any midwives etisi krom demonstration ekeka nsem efa yempanifo ho ansana de ese no yaye. See, there is this misconception say your health workers no they are lazy. Omo nye dwuma. Enti enu kwan kra se yetu omo. Sansam no ekoso. Yes, ubenye bi mu a sebio omusu no ene se de omo ye omo ne ma no. Enye de ba me Sefah-Danquah, I've been in hospital several times. We have health workers, doctors, nurses, midwives. Look, omuye juma under strange conditions. Strange conditions, difficult conditions. Omuye juma. See, the last time my boy was at the hospital, there's this doctor, a young doctor, Sefah. Minye sure say obedi 26 years or ba. For the period now me wo no. Almost 16 hours that young woman was working. Bare 16 hours. Na oye juma. And enye ononkwa there are plenty doctors any nurses omuye juma nti say ye tena hwa so onu say junior doctors ya ka nurses in the junior doctors bare 15 months in.
Yeah, of course.
Omunsu ye ntuo omo.
Yeah.
Enti omunsu ye pese omunsu ye demonstration. Na omo keke kansem ebu minister no ene abampanifo animtia ansa na ye se yebeye financial clearance ansa na ye se yebeti omuka. It's shameful. Ghana to have female president soon. We a president John Dramani Mahama and so we say Beijing a conference.
Beijing,
Not G. You ona say ona wadan for ne day 5 and I say friends day 5
ton
day 5 okay ona wadan for ne Ghana's China's ambassador to China enti ne ho ena omanpani kasa no eno se amampani fu ewiase nyina muntie asem ambekan we enye revelation enye vision but muntie eye prediction Ghana enche bia yebenia female eye president asem amakan wose mumfensan ba bia nsu wonkan o kan ne yesusa no uni obi ye bibi o asem ya american fact san ba bia nsu wonkan na pepa ampa na makofa EJBD fati na me de asen ho hwem enti na okoye fie e wo chebi ahwene ase ba bi wo a me san ye da nyina da so ho na me di ATS e na me san ene nyina da so o man pani se mo fen san ba bia Ghana enche bia o se ne vice president e yo ba enti e bia oni ho o na bedi na de odina dia obetimi aye omampani eje Kwadwo market fire victims send SOS to government. Cataract tops blindness causes in Ghana as country struggles to meet surgery target. Enti we Ghana Health Service and this and some way aba. Enti Kwadwo eni yare ho asem na ye kan you eni yare ho asem pa. Lawyers for Professor Ameyan Krufi withdraws from 2 million Sky Train case. Now, judge or tia seminisono, Kwadwo ena answer to the court say when you notice no receiving 11th of September 2025 from the lawyers of Professor Christopher Emeyaw Akrumfi. Ho na owie no se papa we na menye na den na aka no si o ampa osi one ne lawyers no ntawantawa da one ne lawyers ne ntem but osi one on the bueni pa esan se omuntimi ko bankru mu okwan ya so omudi asem no na okay oye kan wie no se nti okan ne krakra ne sen na osi o judge ne se pa ho adaben na osi okay enkrofo abemu a omo kan asem no se de be ya one ne lawyers no ombetimi akọ bankru mu se de ombedi asem no nti enchi bia no notice ebesan aba court ho a ne lawyers no eba bidi asem no biem na Kwadwo Krache West se wonim se eho ene ne die esu ni jadwo na ekoso boat a ekobu dambares emuntum ye no nipa mako 16 dunsia
yesi emu nkwada nkwan
dubako.
And according to the report that I read, yesi akoda ena na ono tribute
kolao on she protective gear bia
oni bi
na mpanifo nso mote ho atena ho amako 2025 ade a mepepa 2025 poppy appeal launch in Ghana. Enti deputy defense minister Ora Bruja Jemfi jumedi a yedi abrani nyina de support ye war veterans. Yes, enti afide no the month of November ene ye saade no enti eduru a fati ene sifa se yedi ho hyem sefati we Cameroon awaits presidential election results after polls on Sunday. The 92-year-old president Obia a sign contest bi.
What are they?
Now who the campaign?
Yeah, or the mannequin. There was one of the mannequin on the year mannequin and the decor campaign grounds. On the grounds there on the year inform. Nti omentimi ankwan kopia campaign no ase. And also there are allegations going on say oko the
no oye campaign na batu no timi betubi.
Oh betubi. Yes, betubi on the year betubi.
Omo te Switzerland o. Omo nte Cameroon one ne yere no omo nte Cameroon. In fact, enyo one ne yere one ne busuafo.
They are not in Cameroon.
Omo nte Cameroon ti de ekoso ho nyina no. Omo hu bi kura ye mfuni no omo. Omo mfili bi.
Yes, and so there was a point in time, and this is according to some documents that I read, say, the French ambassador to Cameroon, a power of attorney, and he has onu any honor. The French ambassador was the one who was
the AD president,
so we de facto prime minister of a sort. So and as audio minor so
be bosume be na me ka say nti yentimi ntuni ngo si ade nti na me ka sa
the
say yentu
but the point is that if we have accepted a democratic approach to hosting leaders it is the masses.
Mass be ne betimi asori.
It is the masses and on sorry. See, let me give you an example.
Let
me give you an example.
There's no masses betimi asori etia pobia.
Let me give you an example. I'm giving you an example. In Madagascar. Madagascar's protest started about 2 weeks ago. Now, President Rajolina
Wayira.
It's not Enyasa Wayira. He was on board a French military plane and has fled to Paris. And their course one was as a result of the uprising. Even after changes to the government, the Mabunu said, look, we want the government gone. And indeed, the government is gone.
Cameroon, the
let me more examples. We've had the Arab Spring that has led to massive changes.
Maybe because of Morocco.
And they are still protesting as we speak now.
Yeah.
They are still protesting. So I am talking about the power of the masses. Of course, the change that we need or the change that we are demanding, it may not happen just like that. But at least there are a group or another, there are a cohort of people, like if you say, we must rise. The people of Cameroon should be the people to rise. Because if you go and vote for a 92-year-old, in one of the African countries, there was a candidate who was going to contest for an elections. No, sorry,
particular trends. Country Bempo. Is it Uganda? I think Uganda.
And you're going to vote for that? You're going to vote for such a person? There is another
resource.
Is it South Sudan or something of that sort? Was it Salva-Kiir or something? And we are voting for that. So if the people of Cameroon, and I had a friend, Ateki Caxton, who was at the point contesting for the presidency, and Idrubrebia or the Baise, who have been leading the fight for liberation, and so or need to change accept so or back one of the political parties. And then Obake, the political parties. Just about yesterday, I sent him a message and I explained. He said, well, results na ban from what they are seeing. It looks as if Nipa no didn't Cameroon. But there is another party here. What the opportunity to win. Party. And so if the people do not rise, and I'm not talking about say, rise, Kili, Okuku, and I say, Okaku do bio. But the point is that yen fe enfan chere won mo say nia omo ye no enye. For me, I'll maintain it. Because me, I am saying say after 60, 62 years, 65 years, Fati, yes, me baby am consulting. Opa no about bejinim di ni bi now the corner o dia kwakwe. But we should be having people omo moja etimi ejina omo moja mo no to be leading the fight, because the fight will not be a fight for the for old men at the point in time.
A great minister allowed smallholder farmers
that
for
is
global
that is the story for conversation
food production.
That's the story for conversation.
13 communities in Yape Kusegu constituency connected to the national grid. NGA.
Like ma okro mu da.
Hey, say.
Onti ase.
Untine sumu asakola na wo hwa na yesi ye ba beso. Me kai the activities are ye leading up to see a beso light no. Fatida ye saw light no. Chrono. Almost everybody obi atena light ase ma de echi. For days. For days as a young boy. I remember as a young 8-year-old boy na yabusu fie e wo kwan ho pe enti na street light na ba kusi ho boy si fie na nim ti ye sorry ani ye de yenkunwa me mpo de me de me mattress e ba beto ho e na me da light na sesa da light na sesa enti emebu na wo ho no me omoni beje papa
30 minutes past the hour of 7. Happy morning to Nwasuku Swatino. I had said in 70 and Sunday Kano. Daybreak the Bokrat and the Banima. Your monitor mosquito storms Volta region for day 3 of Thank You Tar. No ewaha. Na Nintemu wa there is another story related to a year Ura Johnson Asiedun Katia, chairman of the National Democratic Congress. Asiedun Katia's son resigns as MIIF deputy CEO. Dr. Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah and also Ninsem Edahai. Contractor locks Odobing SHS classroom over 14-year-old debt. Yes, contractor and Wako Odobing a year and Twasusuku and was a cow mudum woman into Omuntia, and yet what didn't credo ahodo or the other two, Suku Adano, Moman Codano, and right as you, how I say, ye, Codana Babintina, and I won't et me as the KGL group congratulates Ghana Black Stars, and then KG and Omode, I was a body Casepa, Ediaco, Ghana Black Stars, so much me about Momodia. I qualify for 2026 World Cup because so America, Canada, and Mexico. No, Ghana loses value for money as project cost surge by 70 billion Ghana cedis. NDPC report no about to address a project I hold over here. Na traha intiming being in term. Near traha intiming being in term. Your project timeline will hire the towards it to me. It means you need me view project no be na ya twen na pa ho na akobi sika afro na de ba bechi mo sisa eniema no ema omani ehwiri sika opepepe eduoson 70 billion contractor and medical bonus so the way a day break the bokrata no etifin 70 bi na no profile betimi ho no nya bi na wakenkan no
me fa me final paper the hawk and to swear. The divorce in a bottle. Lumber's family says West Apetishi ended her marriage. And no ewaha. Ideas, not cash. A Japan dares MPP's big spender aspirant to debate. Government ignores local expert in Galamsey war, Dr. Atia. Tamaklo urges speed on 24-hour oil scheme. And also ewaha. Jemfi shred Bentel over 85% Galamsey gold lies. We the hawk.
Yemfa the Metro Lens and Twaso ene anope na menchia the editor of the Metro Lens Mare Hene of Achim Adadi and Tem ye Bafo Buama odi kan ma menchia no ene the editor edema the Metro Lens. MPA investigate 2.3 million Ghana cedi fuel diversion scandal. Obehu ora ejudi Tamaklu ono na chief executive officer de man National Petroleum Authority ni mfuni ewa ha KGL Hills Blasters World Cup qualification the entire KGF we be obi nim KGL fati or sponsor of the Blasters. Yes, enunti ena ne stories aba. My son not into illegal mining Chebi NDC chairman. And Sembi ewo Chebi say NDC chairman na oho ne ba oye Galamsey. Kwadwo na otwe wi ekro bi frame. Obi frame free o say mo nsem na mo keke kan mo mehwe chairman wa ha na me say chairman ben. Mo mehwe chairman wa ha ne ba ene na me say ne ba na eya ananse enti ade na ye nyini nsi nchen. Na ne ba na o yes ade ne ye nchi no enfema na
chain because the notion is that or yet because
the papa is politically exposed.
Yeah, chairman.
Yeah.
Penia o di bone no. Ne papa baby a ne papa wonti e se enye den ye de ne papa be bata ho. A wo ye penia o di ni juma. But ensemo a aba eno no. Enti but ono nso kire se dabi. Ne ba no enye saa enote ekura Alhaji Samuel Muhammad ono ho asem ene ye kan ne oduru chebi a owodi mpa esan se ne ide na ban ene wo eye ewo edi Ghana so police foil plot to kill Achim Kwabin chief 2 arrested Kwadwo yesin krofo bi yesenka ukro Kwabin a Achim Kwabin ohin oho no nka krofo bi ekwa akukunu minim se omunkutu ni tuo se omu koma ne poison you se den you ne die yache saa enkrofo na the perfect NLA KGL deal, how the driver KGL became very important to the car owner NLA into we Fatis sweetheart Razak Kwadwo Poku PhD eno abo sa krate kama pa hweme said the OPBA eno enzo eno no attack on MPs Gabi Ochre Dakon clarifies fact about Ashanti Road project enti eno no 15 a year fearsome death including 11 children as boat capsized. And also ensemo ye ka eho asem ewa ha enye kura enye debi uye dema akola kete ena oti boat a enipa maako eduonu.
The boat itself was also overloaded.
But in the first place, how do we allow?
I don't know. Say bio omote hono intino. They see it as normal. As now, I don't know, because seriously, the lack of proper transportation a problem, yes. But then again, ukofa boat. Number one, boat ayema abroso the capacity. Again, muni life jackets. Again, akwala ena eba be twi boat edemako. Again, so uko station I know say to say even with car no ebimu etwi fam say omun belong anywhere. Yes. But uko stations are cars in one. There is some authority there. Our drivers no earn and nam one year the omupe.
No.
And when it comes to boat transport now, omun ni obia. Our Becca say, hey, we boat here was funny per 5. Whether we your last boat are wuko, whether you are the only boat working for that day, it's supposed to be 5 into asa. And I said you are underage into won't mean but 2 boats, no. Why the check is at the end in our because that is like clearly the only means of transportation. And we cannot make it you either like me who said I mean cano. Whether so wa beto ho atons you no eku ewu and now bet na boat in so eku all will lead to death. Why must it be so? Every year, every year. I say the year ritual. That same issues. And then the pen on mode underage account. Otherwise, overload.
I say ye the year nyankuma de. Enti afie bia eba
like a template.
Yes.
So that it's a template that is there. Afie bia no will have to
Metro Lens.
Miracle. 22 minutes past the hour of 7. Young Kongo for a social media trends and famra. Another because and 70 BA. You see, Yuan, I am trying to. I'm trying to just imagine how difficult, how hard it is to lose your life in such a situation.
Terrible.
I'm trying to imagine, how it ended for all of them. Swallowed by the river. Trying to, clutch at the last straw. Just to survive, bruh.
Meanwhile, there is no means
for survival. There is nothing. There is nothing like any emergency on insurance. Into utom. Nobody cares.
Don't care about life, human life, nothing.
Nobody cares.
What kind of people are we?
I'm sorry, but nobody cares. Because if indeed we've realized the only means of transportation was our bianwa. And Shebeni betimidia gua kwamu to safeguard life. Okay. 23 minutes past 7. Happy 90th FM.
News updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues. Listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
Basifa, bibi amekasa Happy FM wangu. Enijai Happy FM kipa. Na nekope kaki ipo pendrive umachi pichu. Mukano krepa.
Yanko abefo ntintan kɛseɛ no so na afei no dia ɛno nso etwegu ɛwɔ hɔnom anɔpɛ no yɛmfa emrel as social media trend na sisi ayi deɛ abro so ama kyerɛ sisi adeɛ abro so imagine sɛ wo ne wo kunu te wasɔre anɔpa address ahyɛ watare o hwehwɛ mpaboa wo hu sɛ wo ni sɛ ya mostly no asɔfo no omudi kan wa sorry because I was so muko prepare ni nyoma na fe wife sorry ana no so wa prepare nkwala ni ready na onu omu so aba sorry nti maame awie ohwehwe ne mpabo so or the ye ne plans efa the dressing anka anopa no no ohye akwa asori e no so de maame nsesa mpabo no kodu asori a ebusuafo monko Facebook na monko hwe bi ho eno na osofo ahye ane odekwa asori ode preaching ewo ho na makra sampa watintintintintintintintin we bi muntumi nantim eno osofo age eye na agbada 3 piece we 4 piece because check ho eno ode age ni red shoe combination papa eno original asori a ode ye ni preaching a enya asem ketwa ewo honom woko happy 98.9 FM a ubehu bi we oba sa shoe ubetumi anantim maybe saw ubetumi anantim emma bebre entumi nante sa high heel mu eno sofo etumi ahya odi twa ne ho frede ewo asori dem ho sa no e de ye ne preaching no comment e ba no enie Queen Gina essay who else went straight to the comments Ambassador essay what is going on here Papi Wata essay is this AI Saso and a Duchess Jenny say, I've come to one obvious conclusion. No matter who you are, what you are, you will always have a follower. The people listening to him is my problem. Maybe I would want to believe that no the a lesson for that day, no. Or they tried that's what I think. But me who other videos of Asofo Adebia Mushe high heel. I can't tell. Nikki Fragrance, I wonder why these men feel comfortable wearing heels than some women. Fonia say, I get this shoe and I know Sabi wear them. Kevin say, AI is really going to destroy this world because we don't know what's real and what's fake anymore. Saso Ena Tamara say, I blame everyone who attends the church. Evangelist S1, you say, please, is this real Abina another AI because I am not understanding. Jacqueline say, what is this nonsense and why are the members tolerating this? Saso and Vaus say, our boy, we are really living in the days for the Bible fulfilling. The end is upon us because what is all this? Ntisa and our comment no etie ewo ehonum yemfa ebi entwaso emfa ma anopei na we trend we na this or awko Facebook na awko ekohwe bi mu ya mote abonte a na mu yi mu pa wa ba akono minim de bia ba ko na mu yi na ba ko hye ho ekyeze mu yi ba ko na ba ko hye mpaboam ena ogobrane ete eja oje mframa one ne namfo wa abonte di nkomo ena akola boni we wakwa ma papa na twitwa ne mpaboa mu etwitwam peace opama enye yi oye ne hwe a enye yi na ono aso na obo aye ema ye twitwa ne mpaboa in fact ono ano de sekan no eto ne mpaboa no mu etwitwa aye na nipa na ote ne nchen na no ne bonk mo ye nipa boni ni papa because he could see what was going on but one kade wakana no atum ama papa ye twitwa ne mpaboa mu te se na ma okwa akwachi edi ne waachi wetwitwa mpaboa no mu peace oye ne hwe ala enye ye we obere anante akofi luckily am so bitom baba gine pay wo honoma em se na okwa akopa bi akoto uko Facebook a obeti ase next time wotu wona obi be ka che se boa me na menwitwa ade mu a enye ehwe na ase ansa we hu se mpaboa na na comment ni ne dio say I just felt his reaction was for the need to work harder for it to get another one. It's not that easy to buy another one. Saso and Samazi, don't tell me he did that and he just vanished. Yo, if so, that is not funny. George, I say people are going through a lot. How on earth don't you know how your sandals looks like? Avocado say now his foot is going to get dirty. And Tisa a comment no etie memfa other trends no so entwa so emma anope ewo social media trends no eso ade we bi na mpese e bi to na na mako over the weekend no ko na kohwe ewo Facebook ai yeti nipa empe eye asem mpe nipa asem edue utum se edue angasa wabre eno de ade homa na sense so ade na udem ti se lazy swing no na wo swing no ene edua ne se de bi mentumi magina ha ema wo mbeti adonko wo me so ene edua ne bu ye na one eyi ni nia ekogu foma enya asem ketu akra comment no enie ayakeni say girl the way you heard the cracking and just looked so and could be I see if you couldn't tell how dead that tree was before you pitched that hammock, you need to be inside. Bless your heart. So and yes, from the block I say, girl, that was almost your last time outside anyways. And it's and comment so etie ewo honum. Memfa final one no entwa so emaye anopaye. Na ebi mu wadaje pa o. Ebi mu wadaje pa. Omutumi ede ye rough pa. Na ebi mu wadaje omude ye rough pa. Chese car enam eye ekwan ho. Ena otumi oma moto park yes o ebi a truck ketie bi ba. Oh, say ya track kese bi bedane ne ho ne ade a na master stop say munjina na track ne mbesing ai sa na ode ye motofo no nti odu a say o park wa car kese e ba car kese car ne mba enkwala toy car a ye de ahoma asenso eno mo de be ho na motofo no say mu enne ye ne mo be chi anyam pa ene enne omu chesi omo mu nyo anka bo ombe bo omo comment no enie Aaron say at least they try to save a life. Smile for sooner. I see the way they took the track and run. So and a year biker. I say this is actually good content. I am Shams. I say the running at the end. So and a year ayo nife. I say Mark, don't bring this video to my face again. I'm tired of laughing. And I fell in. I say I watched this more than 10 times. Mover. I say childhood memories. Vihesh say. No one got mad at bro. They were just chasing to let them play together. And tisa and a comment netia and pay aha and mede a year social media trends no ABC ediamaye.
Yeah no as say all the social media trends in our brain. Kasima bako eduning watch na no watch our live on Happy Morning Show. Yentwe ho emra na yetwe ho ba enkoma kan nyina na gopuno so yebedie. And it's got to do with the fact say Agric Minister is saying, look, smallholder farmers jumadi omudie ewo mamu no we see it me ebom about but are we giving them the necessary attention that they need so they are able to sustain the level of productivity in terms of food production, in terms of supporting the agricultural sector, the entire value chain, and in terms of are we giving them the needed attention? Yebedi ehun enkomo enanope live on the Happy Morning Show. Adwin chero bitimi dia ba. Mamenka say yekoba. Ye na yesi enkomo na se a wonso tetifo homa yebie etumu abitimi afre. Na wa kire wa adwin e wonsem no ho ebi nie 0551563916 05572778. WhatsApp number no. Mame emfama wo 0594051145. Happy Morning Show. Ena wason egusua wutie.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
Efri nyanhini ekosi nro efri haban edi konkwa Ghana bibidro di tumi sorry anwodene ene nukremu ebre no dro say ye di Ghana Herbal Conference die di kan kra ebro jumadie ebekoso December bosomene da etoso miensa ekopim enum ewo Prempe Assembly Hall Kumasi asemtitra eda jumadie ne so ne Harmony in Herbalism, Balancing Tradition and Innovation. Bra na bahwe akwan hodo a ye bibinro na hunu nu ahodo a ya yo ewo Ghana ha na ne adunsifo akukudan ene wonu mu a wɔyɛ bibinrom hwehwɛmu ɛne nkɔmɔ ɛho hia saa adwumadie yi wɔn mo ɔma so yɛsene ɛmeɛde brɛ mo ɛyɛ the Ministry of Health, Ghana Federation of Traditional Medicine Practitioners Association, GAFTRAM, Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, and the Center for Plant Medicine Research. Bomodia, nakwa befontin tankesi so www.ghanaherbalconference.com. DHE ewa befontin tankesi ahodo so at Ghana Herbal Conference. So pese obeda wunru awayo edi anase ope baby a ubetimi di unro na sie ewo dwumadi na se a bomodia na frey ewo tetefon homa iso 0202 222 095. Ana before forms ewo YFM Kumasi Inshaya so ben MTN Inshira FM anase Love FM. Ghana Herbal Conference, our roots, our remedy. Yamamwachio Niamamwa Kwaba Eba Happy Morning Shows Ewo Happy 98.9 FM.
Asam na nya den principal kwa kwa mbra ya nya ya munya nto boase o ne eye jo zanko aya munya nto boase kakra na nto boase de ye na mamu musa mu mienu no ma sori a mu dimirika gidigidi amubu afu no daache makọ ahomegye mu no se me de se ba ka tem se ahomegye no 50 de na mekọ no na mekọ ahomegye mu sa bra no metem kokofu no ene consulting ya na ne lawyer Danquah lawyer Dr. Danquah we dey adawma assembly na ba se pacho ene mi secretary nkasa oni mi secretary kasa utia me kakra se obese tua pension pension dey go because by that time no na senate ed me pension na mamia ma feely fati be say feelings ma feel because sabre no me mfa ni agro contribution no modern a fa ho shimbi won enemre ya wote ase a owo nkwa owo ahodene oye adwuma kakra bidu kotokuo mu a na wodi bi etwa wanum spedede no aya mesere wa na wakai daache no nyina ne se ewo se ohunu ekai se unton koso enye se de wutie ya da enkosi wiase wiye enye den ade echi ade esen womre no a na ekonanimu no womfie no a na ekonanimu no enti beduru brebi no nanka wa hoodene a wowo a obetimi ade dwuma no saa hoodene no enni ho bio me kire bra wakwa ahomegye mu so me bisa se wampe ensiechi ba adwuma bi a betimi di wo ho abata no se okwa ahomegye mu a ubenya sika ade from ho ade abobra a na okwa ahomegye mu a edien ena abeyo mesre emfa wani entro eye obabi so se de ada no me kan ya me ba panyini wadwa se me my future momo de enka ho my future is just me ne me yire wadwa hems ane no kura no anu maka kire no ebia wonti ase but the reality is what I've told you intime masem kakra me ka kire na no pa ni se senate se wabie na apono owo nkrabata baako aduonum miensa ewo man Ghana ha se oye adwuma na yetua okabosomi bia sisi a me no kasai momo de na me ka no oye adwuma me yetua okabosomi bia de a mesrew bomodia hwehunu se ewo se utimi de kakra to se de bia bitimi aboa wo ewo bra akwa ahomegye mu se wanya ne saa na odo ho bekwa akobọ hadai known club no se mehunu yanka de mesrew menko enkonko kambi enti ne yesika yi ebay bomodin abowura senate no aka kire senate mesremo montiti bi mfanto ma me na de man ye dene se senate wonti sika no mfanto ho kekeda bi eyesa abroni beka say the money will lose its value bomodin de sika no kokohye enyuma ahodo abitimi ede mfasode ede abrew sika no se de be ya adaache wo kwa ahomegye mu a ekopem bra nyankopon beton sade afre wo no senate be ma osika ne bi bosome biara enti koba ne sa no anya de sika be pa obotomu da anya de sika e be pa wo ho da me se emfa wo ehun enkonkobo adan nu ekuo no da bi sa ekuo no yenka ho bi enti ne ya kaze magimi ho afiri mu bowura senate branch bia wo magana mu nga yenti sika no kakra fanto emfama isan se odache hu hia se umprempren ehu hia sanso na odache ehu hia ma papa bomodi ana ne senate eni nsa woso 0302 611 622 020 0302 0302 611 622 eno ne number betimi afre senate ewo so sisia mesero kwa ba fonten tankase ne so kwankwa anu ase a ye wo ho bomodia na ko Facebook ko X ko Instagram ko TikTok and a YouTube SNIT no SSNIT Ghana. Yewo ho obetimi ene edinsa woso ene edi enkita ho ewo SNIT. We deliver on our promise. Na tinye se SNIT de man ye den se afi bia no sika ye de ma wo no se wakọ ho megye mu a wogi sa sika no afi bia no ye tumma umpewe na apede ye management dia ba betu manim se menkan kire Ghana fo nyina se aka enipa baako beye miensa na mienu na awarefo dodo a ye hwe won se won betimi edi ho aba be 2026 Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding dwumadi no mu no na aso na adano a mehwe nipa dodo mo di application aba no nye asem ketwa etore bi kura nzo ebinum kura agro mani zu kakra wosi na moye wedding ama mi asesi ameni gay ani aka kire se modi a na kope bi ne ye ne ho ade wo fie oye ne ho ade go fie a ene na 2027 dia kan nyina Happy 98.9 FM be fa ho ka ede amount na bomodi na bra the front desk of Happy 98.9 FM be fa o registration form for Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding. And some baby ho ameka ede afa ho de man na nemu sisi ane nkwa ahoma so isan se enkoma ene ewo se etwetwe no ewo se ehyase ntempa enti ene yese yetete abete na ne chimu an yankwa ahoma so ne Dr. Martin Tetinate or agricultural economist yene ntwetwe nkomo because the agric minister said smallholder farmers omo mamu and another paragraph the back page of the Ghanaian Times, the work rat and was asked no and rap. Say another newspaper edited by agric minister, smallholder farmers, yamoma basu, but the nature of smallholder farming, no. It is saying, Doc, and pay yamuachimakwaba.
Good morning, Kwadwo.
Now, first question, maybe sir, smallholder farming. Ni state I won my moon. It is saying.
With the mention that I would say for smallholder farming, Bonibeka say farmers are on modo if we full acreages are a year below 5 acres. And you classify them as smallholder farmers. You can almost state and organ there. Because say omona because they are at the bottom of the pyramid. Omo home and so no so a eson e boa omai no. Now so almost na benefit also benefit from the money mo yana so on benefits the least. And this is my brief description of almost state Ghana.
Why is that the case? When it comes to benefiter, they are not getting the needed benefit, but then they are still able to contribute their quota in terms of agricultural productivity.
Once the smallholder farming system in Ghana, we are scattered across. So even about cocoa, all those all regions be are predominantly cocoa farming areas now. But say are scattered. Cocoa podium, most of them they have cooperatives. Every major town, major cocoa production will be our cooperatives. They have that level of leadership. Almost negotiating for better terms. Now, so do na akana. The ones that do farmers are over the crowd be as no don't the acreages are craving. Only any association be a odom. Only any cooperative be so a odom wabo. Enti eba ne pricing now only annual ultimately negotiate for better prices. So they are more like price takers. Instead say ultimately negotiate for better prices for ejuma mo ye no.
And the dog so ono no entimi enchere ebo a ne no buy na wadono obetumi aton no wa wo kwa akoto no e na obeton na bu bi a ope
sanate esan say because omo ni bi na omo ye nyama omo ye omo fulu so iso kakra no usually odo wie na otwa intentem so ana obese otimi ton na otimi ye bi de bo efie ho bra esan say no ho prepare ne ho ntino ni ono ba beto efin nten na usually am ye middle man no ono na obi determine say okay we so ton tomato box ebia 100 Ghana cedis na so minimum 20 Ghana cedis because onim say one ton wa e be say ahye no ena ebinom so bi am tete no obutwa kwantenten e de call bigger towns during market days it was twa kwan e de kodu market day one ton wa sika ben bium no between that and the e de call back to bibia ofidi buy and there were this disconnects issues near be but then in order not to focus more on the issues, there's this disconnect between smallholder farmers and we fragmented across the country because they need any proper aggregation hubs within those communities. With my bob now if you more storage facilities this should accept that provide them more. With me issue and not as the benchmark to be able to negotiate for better prices.
But you share that in there, you can say when it comes to the issue of agriculture, now you share the role of a smallholder farmers or more the agricultural value chain no more. One more a modern bar or more bono, a sweni. So over the years, how is it say yentumi emfa and she bia enwa kwamwa ebetimi aboa just as you mentioned to aggregate amaya hunu say okay say okọ apoye mantem a ye was smallholder farmers be empim edu omo miase okọ atifidu mantem a ye was smallholder farmers be empim eduasa omo miase juma we and I said these are the kind of crops and omo cultivate edienti ni entumi nyesa.
I think with issues like this, I think policy and maybe a lack of implementation of policy. Policy in the way or policy when you budget with mastery over. I mean, when you budget, although you create Ghana, now so about the implementation na koyasem. So it's the same. Every region be a regional agricultural development unit. Every district be a district agricultural development unit. And I'm also SAW extension agent. I don't know. I mean, Bibri, I'm sure I say, agent be also in the operational area. And the information of this kind of can information be in now. So the proper implementation of these policies not any honor. And no na I see about private young new age agriculturalists with general manager. Yes, but to smallholder farmers. Now, so as say you want a private and a commercial interest in tea. You keep record of you do media smallholder farmers in AD. And unless there is some and can be about policy implementers in a few chain the back on the ground. And so that we will not be able to bring the actual benefit of seeing from these smallholder farmers. Now, so just to give you a little bit numbers or facts to back in your canon. The needs to see Ghana, your total hectarage now you're building about 5.8 million hectares.
Okay. 5.8 million hectares. Out of what?
Oh, out of assassin there the Ghana assassin is about arable land is about 13.6 million hectares. Now, so
we are not even cultivating half of the arable lands here.
No, not at all. Not at all. We are just doing barely almost 40%. Now, out of this 5.8 million hectares in this month, young smallholder farmers see almost cultivating as much as 85% of it.
That is over 3 million hectares and a smallholder farmers.
Almost 5 million hectares. Smallholder farmers are more done. Smallholder farmers seem so and now different food security crops. These food security crops crops are ebro, atoko, emo, bodie, bayire, nekeke kahuna. Now, so this farmers are omoye big farmers no more ebia kwedu nekeke mo export it. Mo can the calculation. But smaller farmers mo provide the food security crops. Also, and about employment when it comes to the agricultural industry now. Almost employ as much as 85% of omudo ekia Ghana. It's also which median dear media a son kesepa now so now so and I can was a mean. And one of mediano more as a kakra. Number to me as my farm home to my pay from.
The Agric Minister, Ura Eric Opoku, said when it comes to the agricultural value chain, no, we cannot take away the smallholder farmers. Indeed, it is true.
Yeah.
From what you have shared with us, it is quite clear that despite their contribution, enya dia yedi ni ehwe won yie. Sa abasobodia Agric Minister say emfa mo. Then what kind of weight and a woman or she the boy smallholder farmers
as in wait lady modern bonnet there modern about according to FAO a population of smallholder farmers are just about 3 million. 3 million out of a total of about 5 million individuals are more within the agricultural value chain. Smallholder farmers require over 3 million of them. And during within the entire value chain, a bit more on the bio, now so be a market, can number American. And you can't take out the smallholder farmer at all. About bonus no ye can so omuhia a sefata set with the bomb. Now so the wait no and they say a great minister I'm sure say omo de acquire omo to acquire me number to acquire mo. Send everything aboa smallholder farmers. It's say as for extension support services there yaka ye nyam ne dodo e Ghana.
I understand the extension support services, one extension officer to about 1,500 a year smallholder farmers.
Yes. Okay. I will say 1:800. The okay, so you will check a na se so no smallholder farmers no only agricultural inputs. It will some say maybe on subsidy a beboa. And I also it me stop finding ways of financing them. About financing, so I will say there were so many financing opportunities, mass log, they will leap. Now, so any segmented financing structure be smallholder farmers. Now, it's also smallholder farmers. Ultimately, a bit me out some sort of finance be a bit me at their door with full and something about buying.
But was that was that not the reason we established the Agricultural Development Bank?
Oh, this is that someone universal bank. I'm not sure say small farmer be bit mako I can say
so we can say ADB has drifted or shifted from its original motive. So bit me work we are for.
Yeah, if juma na mo buano enye juma a year a back down. They might be supporting agricultural companies to bring in agricultural inputs. And so I break a juma now so a juma na a work from now because the bottom of the pyramid is juma. Where a juma I will say to me so omunya kakra webi for a production season. Send you war this for small for example SME loans and I say those money lenders see and we need to restructure our financing to be back from senior a community
it's a microfinance system where bit me about farmers.
That's it. Now for money and usually they don't need much because farmer no or other say 5 acres. Smallholder farmer 5 acres see you yan e kakra bi pe. When input you yan kakra wa obetimi about me ado yin. These are the things that are missing or compared to other other African countries or other global countries are almost more a large number of smallholder farmers. Almost a pushy for the cooperative system. And to say mango for cooperative system, that means who produce a techiman. Techiman shop their own cooperatives. Cooperatives and they recognized cooperatives are on these finance houses to be able to secure loans. It's all your farmer no loan, it's add the way for you have no choice, and also you'll be compelled. So about cooperative, I join it's me then you cannot be able to benefit from these things. These are the simple, low-hanging activities. You bet me approach you bet me one, keep data of all our smallholder farmers because they will all want to benefit from these finance opportunities. Maybe are buying through ADB or through any other of their appendaging institutions can offer to smallholder farmers. You can be able to with me about on one with training year on good agricultural practices. And with me promote resilience through diversity because I say there monoculture say be odo eduaba bakope eduane bakope or asase so and also say what man say and we can be able to train them now it's me amenya kom ho senior tie akwa say every man for himself go for that for us all about smallholder farmer system no and no na emboa and no and intimi smallholder farmer system no omuntimi nya the real benefit on the ground even though say contribution no yes very significant.
Share the level of knowledge smallholder farmers on kwan befa so mbetimi aye mfuo ni ye so mbetimi a maximize production at the same
akrache for na etimi ko school go sua agric kakra idiom I sani ekrafo so yeduma no o beko down to the ground no keni no on what does so many years now over on the dynamics of the environment na sase and the thing in daniafa over time near yen say you marry near your school and no on the traditional knowledge no one for the betterment of the farmer. That should tell you say farmer no name so equally ba enye nim dia betumaka say ye omunim de na esin chen ye dia for eba o ye nsa emboa esan say omoso over time practice has made them perfect and they might not be at the highest level of perfection that's what me do it me try it me ba jom am I to be kotobi edi and as it be the ball a bit of form brown and on the in responding to a level of knowledge in I think they have the reasonable level of knowledge for them to contribute to over 85% of the food we consume in Ghana. Yeah, I know they have some level of benefit, a level of intelligence when it comes to farming. Now, so there have been other many programs. They say, like I said, there is a program called Happy.
Happy 90.9 FM,
it's called the Happy Program. Happy Program, New Age Agri Solutions Limited, companies will come in. And also, yes, supporting smallholder farmers who are youth to go into farming. And you church from more, near you train them on good agricultural practice, train them on business development and service provision. When in our account, they kind of say, once one small company, you can do as much as you can. But then, anka a national concern because you say, baby, a population of quite a costume. You be here say, be feed new manner, warm and the increment in the population are see. I will say to me, and who say the bedrock of agriculture is smallholder farmers. And who tea or say bomb mobile. And who tea or say to me, sustainable. Na to me akoso produce enough food at the mine. Especially in this time, you say galamsey so a certain portion of your lands no Now, simple and a smaller farmers one be very, very important to the because say Yanshi now on number no, and that's our total equities no Edwin Della, who say the effects on our food systems no a bit great. Most of the effect on our food systems a bit great. It's simple now. I was saying it's me a crumb ye and it's me a dead dumb on it's me warm. It's me do it's me dumb on the food and it's me don't do or papa son. We look at it as a sustainable manner.
Over the way yɛde ni esi agriculture ɛho ɛwɔ man mu, and if we are to go by the same approach over a period of time, say in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, na yɛnhyɛ da mfa yɛni ankɔ smallholder farmers ɛho a, what is likely to happen?
Oh, I think the evidence is quite clear. Once a Brian share, it's actually DMO about some 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And more started by a staple. We realize the consumption of rice keeps on rising by the year. Now, so don't do organ no. We are increasing the acreages. Now, so the level of your appetite, our consumption rate as against our production rate, about the consumption rate way higher.
True.
I mean, okay, and more you do organ, you do as much as over 60% imported. Many companies so you produce baby rice. You produce the one. So you producing is like a drop in the ocean. Now about for example, broiler and as a poultry or poultry product. It is clear say local poultry production is less than 10% of the entire consumption. So it is clear, and if you're smallholder farmers and are more providing you with about 40% to 50% of rice you consume in Ghana. Now poultry from to their smallholder farmers also providing 10% now, and also you consume in Ghana. Now you realize that a lot of these major food crops, and that's a major food items you consume them. You will start relying on the imported markets to be able to substitute for us. And the effects of downplaying the benefit of these smaller farmers now, by and large, cannot be underestimated. Cannot be underestimated at all. And the clarity there is there. I mean, say, even with all what they are doing, we are still important. Imagine they are unable to do more. That means our import bill will increase way beyond the estimated, I think $2 or $3 billion now your consumer organ.
I'm just imagining if we are to give all of these monies to your smallholder farmers, what will happen?
Oh, a best Sunday menu. A best Sunday menu. A day, I hope to so beba, a GDA beba in our food systems more. A day, friend day. I can't be beba. It was more from a number more. Was a beboa ama nipa dodo no fa omunehwe ye ewo ye villages will now look towards agriculture as a sustainable means of engagement. Sina me making say farmer nim say okodom ku bi na obenya fa so wo so an obedom obe committed member. Farmer nim say odom ku ni wie no committed member na benefit abide banon ye nyi na ni course bia. You know that everyone will be committed to that effect. Can who say they are not looking for I just be pay be strong kubia say omenya the right inputs, omenya the right finance, omenya training. That is all farmers being here. On here anything extraordinary. And it is possible. It just be a into being it is possible because maybe company new age. I away check about outgrow scheme. Yeah, you gusu ye. A model yɛbɛtumi expanding and I say yɛbɛtumi ababɛtumi adopt a wɔtumi ebie mu ama yɛntumi implement the very same things across the country. Because farmer no, the issue is mmiɛnsa pɛ. So we have the right inputs, we have good agricultural practices, and we have markets. These are the three things that you provide my smallholder farmers. And they are committed to the cause. So by provide the very same structure now, I'm sure smallholder farmers now also be committed to the cause. Not only increase simple in leaps and bounds.
Do we have any sense of trust? Be said issues having to do with the bosso, food insecurity. You bet me a year free, your rhetorics mu, or my in the next 10 years.
I don't. I think it's more of there should be commitments from central government, because I think my boss it's just because I'm kind of simple. So because we are currently in a very comfortable position, we take things for granted. Because I won't say tomato bobe kosho, ebu bobe kofu mana be kosho, emu bobe kofu mana be kosho. Now so the food price will go up, but we still have food that we can be able to buy and consume. And that's why we take things for granted. But then I believe, with the issues of global
warming, climate change, issues having to do with sustainability,
change, with all these issues, with all these issues on my mindful for Russia-Ukraine war is seeing, you will say it had an effect on wheat. So wheat flour, we should look beyond that and see what can be done. What happens if there is a cutoff from this rest of the world? What as a country, what can we then be able to do? And I believe that when we stop taking these things for granted, we can be able to start looking forward. And as I mentioned, the interventions are not out of the they're not out of the blues. It's not in some way
because rocket science.
And rocket science. You can't, because also need to come home. Need to a food hub for the rest of the sub-Saharan Africa. Because if you're a minor, we try to say way now. But now desert lands. So we can be able to leverage on the good lands we have to be able to produce enough. A bit me, I export that these other countries. But just that, as I'm saying, I told you 2 weeks, back once a man in the race fee. Now the full back. Now so and what's a crime man do in Pempenswa? A bay that was like a Hunsus and Sono, a beson amana brusudo.
Final question will be, sir, if you look at the way that we've been treating agriculture, how attractive are we making it for one more or more people say they would want to enter into the agriculture value chain?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think over time, farmers once a month, the World Food Day, Thursday, with the pictures of posted family beer when you are whole and I say I saw it on the corner will be an edema wrinkle. The imagery doesn't look good. So that is from the psychological bits. And right now, students also are DNSO, farm. So now we are projecting farming as a punishment. So psychologically, schools say, what job do you want to do in future? All the jobs. We are lucky, but now one person be about farming. You're lucky poor because all the jobs are farming. And it's because of the narrative around farming. Yeah, Brahmi Mishano. Now, yeah, agriculture science, old school.
Yes.
So see, our carbon, or integrated science. Agriculture says and then home biome.
Debbie.
So, but then as a country which is an agrarian country, we need to hammer the point say obitimiku school no agriculture as an option. But right now, that kind of integrated science was obviously we will not be able to give it that kind of attention now or say because we are in the era of IT, computers, and in that kind of integrated science now a course load now be brain agriculture number now say you brain so we need to start from a point. But on the ground, agriculture there is lucrative. Just that you have one opportunity between boom the road. Do I'm in poverty. But then wow, country you importing 90% of your poultry products. You're importing over 60% of your rice products. Country food bill, you're importing $2 to $3 billion American dollars every year. Yetimikra Niama as little as toothpick. Niama, all of these are coming out of farming products. You're coming in a debate room, and you realize that the opportunity is there. If you're able to provide or do activities which are import substitution driven, Ubon say, Ebianka, the 100 million be the crab be the fee abuchi baya. You were young group of farmers be a produce no. And no those who normally import can now come and buy from them. And I said they will have it available on the markets. So the consumer market or the demand can come from their end. To their end. These are all the things I was saying about agriculture and the branding of agriculture. Companies be some air try, say new age, your boy home modern, you're trying to beat my other sister companies, every foods you are trying the best that we can. But then I was say Timmy say betrayal till the first Friday of December. They celebrating Farmers Day. Then they for the whole year. When the country we are in, our labor force, over 40% is employed by agriculture. We can't downplay it. I think there is a need, I will say, corporate Ghana's behind the most of them so Happy FM, more other sister companies, so you are promoting it. But there is a need for us to do more and attract our young individuals to go into it. Now be said, the average age of our farmers now is about 55 years. Now say life expectancy rate is 65 Ghana. That means young in a country over 30% of the population is under the age of 25. How can we leave our future in the hands of those who are already near their expectancy that year? It doesn't work that way. We need more young people to come into agriculture so that we can lower the average age of farmers in the country.
Doc, Anapay, as always, it's always insightful to have a conversation with you on some of these really important matters that sometimes thank you very much, Anapay. Dr. Martin Tetema Nati, a Greek economist now, live on the Happy Morning Show. And you see, but these are critical issues, because if it comes to a point in time, if you see King, just think about it. If it comes to a point in time, and I say, if you don't have money to a certain extent, to a certain level, so food security and other issues having to do with agriculture. It should not be something that we would have to take a year for granted. But are we not taking it for granted? Yes, of course. You bet me I can say or modern ball mobile as smallholder farmers we cannot deny it. They are really doing well. Even under harsh circumstances, they are still doing well. But then should it just be say yeah boma but you could be jomo say we you need to be praised and I said there is something that we critically need to do. Ura Edward Carroll, or former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union. Now, mame, first and foremost, Emma, congratulations. Council, congratulations, and I pay.
And I accept the congratulations, and I thank all of you for your prayers and support in diverse ways, which has made me to come this far. So now become a lawyer.
It's amazing. Now we have you, and we know that when it comes to matters within the agricultural sector, when it comes to the issues having to do with law, you are a go-to person that we are going to come to.
In fact, you have said it right. You know, the essence of the law is to help eradicate injustice in the society. And when you have injustice, mostly injustice in the society is perpetrated against the vulnerable. So the farmers and then other vulnerable people are those who are at the receiving end of the injustice in our society. So certainly, I'm there to protect the vulnerable and to ensure that justice is served.
Let's then delve into the conversation this morning. Agric Minister Honorable Rekapuku is saying that we should celebrate smallholder farmers in the country, particularly because of their contribution to agricultural productivity in the country. To you, would you consider that statement worthy of taking a critical look at, given the fact that, as you just mentioned, we happen to have a lot of smallholder farmers who are vulnerable to price changes, issues having to do with climate change, sustainability issues? If you're to assess how we treat smallholder farmers in this country, what will your assessment be?
Yeah, once again, thanks very much for the opportunity. But let me also say that I am now the Director for Policy and Advocacy for Legal Entrepreneurship Support Hub.
Great.
So this is my new designation.
Great.
So I'm Director for Policy and Advocacy, and the organization is Legal Entrepreneurship Support Hub.
Legal Entrepreneurship Support Hub.
Hub. HUB.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. You see, first, to agree with the minister or not to agree with the minister is to look at the structure of our agriculture. The structure will tell you whether the smallholder farmer is an important player or not. We have up to 70% of our produce in the country coming from the smallholder farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So that is domestic production. And the rest is by commercial farming. So if you have a large proportion of your production coming from a certain group, that is the smallholder farmers, certainly they are very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Any transformation in that sector will have to start from them.
Mm.
So one will now ask, is it a recent development or is it a recent knowledge that the smallholder farmer occupies this important position in the agricultural sector? The answer is no. We are aware of this for many years. Now, we then move to the next stage. What did we then do to ensure that the most important stakeholder and farmer in the agriculture sector is taken care of. And you can see that from the answer is coming from the nature of the policies.
Mm-hmm.
If we took the Planting for Food and Jobs program, you could see that it was mainly focused on smallholder farmers.
Mm.
So that underscored how the smallholder farmer was considered as important under that policy. And as some of us always say, policy is one thing, outcomes is another. You can have very good policies, but the outcomes may not be good enough. So we should not celebrate policies, or even if we celebrate policy, we should not stop at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We should follow up and make sure that the policy delivers on its objectives, on its intentions. Outcomes speak louder than the policy itself. But the argument is that there cannot be outcomes or good outcomes when the policy is not good. So, but to measure whether a policy is good or not, we should look at the outcomes. Because the policy is only a means to an end. We should be looking at the end. That is why when you look at the Planting for Food and Jobs program, even though it focuses on smallholder farmers, it focuses on two major objectives: to provide enough food for the people of this country and for industry, and also to provide jobs. It ended up not achieving that. And that's where some of us, our concern was. Then we can now look at why it did not succeed, so that we can learn lessons from it to make sure that subsequent policies, as we have today, do not suffer the same fate like the Planting for Food and Jobs and previous policies suffered.
Mm. What would you say was one key factor that led to the failure of Planting for Food and Jobs?
See, because you said one failure.
Just one.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Because production is incomplete until the food gets to the table of the consumer. So you may need to look at a number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Our major, when it comes to so you can divide the whole process or chain into three: production, and then post-harvest losses, and then market. So if you look at the production part of it, it failed because the inputs that were meant for the farmers, most of the inputs did not get to the farmers, like the fertilizers and then the certified seed. And some of these fertilizers were smuggled out the country.
Were stolen?
And they were smuggled out of the country.
Okay.
They didn't get to the farmers. So, but then you now look at those that got, the inputs that got to the farmers, and when the farmers produced, what then happened? We could not immediately evacuate this food from the farm gates to the markets.
Mm.
And you could see that along the line, the then Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Dr. Afriya Akoto, had to come out with a policy to go to Western North to bring plantain and other foodstuffs to come and sell in Accra. That was to tell you that where there's production, we were unable to bring those foodstuffs to the urban centers where it was most needed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. So then that's now linked to post-harvest losses.
Mm-hmm.
Because once the farmers were unable to bring their foodstuffs to the market centers, it got rotten. So post-harvest loss became very huge.
Mm.
Then above all, the market was not there. And when we say the market is not there, It's not just about the physical places, like you talk about Agogloshi, Malata, you talk about KJTR. No, those physical markets were there. But whilst we were producing, there was another policy of government that increased importation of the same things that we produce here into the country. And you would recall that in 2019, the government came out with the discounted benchmark value policy to encourage certain imports into the country by way of giving them 50% of their tax duty. The duty that they have to pay on the imports, 50% of it was given back to them or was waived. So we had an inflow of cheap imports into the country and then made the domestic producers unable to compete with them in the domestic market in terms of prices. So all these things put together, made the policy to fail. So from production level, from post-harvest losses, and then also with on the import side. Even though there were measures, there were policies to make sure that we do not get post-harvest losses, and then also to get market, because this school feeding program, where it was supposed to mop up foodstuffs from the various districts to feed the SHS people, it did not work. And then Buffer Stock Company, which was to buy off foods that could not be sold in the market, the Buffer Stock Company did not have money to do so. So even though there were these policies and institutions to ensure that there was no post-harvest losses, or post-harvest losses were minimized, and the market was created, they never worked well. So again, it is not the absence of the policies, but it's about the way we implement the policies.
So I'm looking at the processes leading to policy conceptualization and ultimately coming out with the policy itself. At what point were you, at the time that you were leading the General Agricultural Workers Union, at what point were you engaged? Because I'm looking at a broader stakeholder consultation that will lead to the buy-in of all of the stakeholders that are involved within that particular value chain. At what point were you involved?
Well, I think that there are two ways, or there are two types of policies. There is one policy that requires the broader consultation of stakeholders, because you need to tease out their knowledge to make the policy, owned by all of them. There are some policies you don't necessarily need to do that level of consultation. Yet the policy will be good, and then they will accept it. So, because we also have our own work to do, we were not involved in all the conceptualization and development of all the policies. But some of them, we were invited to participate, share our views after the policy has been drafted, so that the final one will now incorporate our views. We did that. So the major thing is not about the policy, like I did indicate. Most of our policies were good, but the implementation has been poor. For instance, if they say they are going to build the Kwadwo multipurpose dams, they don't need to consult us, and we don't need to be part of that consultation. It's a policy that we readily accept, whether you were invited to be part of the development of it or not. what was most important was for the dam to be built. You see, so it is our implementation. We are bad managers.
Is it
when it comes to implementation?
Council, and this is I mean, I'm still thinking about it.
Yes.
Is it stemming from our lack of understanding of the policy itself, or what? Because if you truly understand what a policy is, you'll be able to implement it to the latter.
Well, we don't lack technical capacity to implement. No, I don't think that we don't lack it. But the thing is this, there are two things that make our policies to fail. One, we don't implement the policy to the letter. It means from beginning to the end. And that is why you see some policies that are left along the line.
Mm-hmm.
And a very good example is about infrastructure. If sometimes if you go around, you see some infrastructure for some institutions that have been started and then they are abandoned.
True.
So first, the policy must, when you start it, you must implement to the letter. It means to the end. And we have the tangent of abandoning policies along the line. As Ghanaians, we have that tangent. So that's one. The other thing is we implement the policy according to specification. You see? So if the policy says that you should build a 10-story, don't along the line build 5-story. So we should implement the policy according to its specifications. These are two major things that we fail as a country. And then we create cost. And if you take the example of building a house, until the house is completed for you to live in or to rent it out, it becomes a waste if you don't complete it.
True.
Because all the money you have sunk there is going to waste. And the Kwadwo Dam is also another good example. We were told about $12 million was spent for mobilization and the rest. That money is already gone. And then the dam is not been built. So we have created costs, we've spent money, and yet we have nothing to show for it. Because we didn't complete the whole project by building the dam. So these are the reasons why we fail. Not that we don't have the technical capacity to implement the policies, but it's because no one is held accountable for failures in this country. Generally, people get away when they do the wrong things. I ask today, are there people who are supposed to be accounted to us why we spent about 4 billion Ghana cedis for planting for food and jobs, and yet today we have nothing or little to show for it? Who is accounting for that? Are we holding people accountable? If we don't do that, it means that if they give another person the authority or the responsibility to implement a structure or a policy, and then the person does not succeed, and he will not account to anybody, and yet costs would have been incurred.
True.
So this is the reason why I think that we do not get it right, and we need to strengthen the accountability part of it. Those who are to implement policies, they must account for why they have failed. And if they are found culpable, they should be, disciplined for that, sanctions and punished for that, according to law.
My final question would be, how do we reconceptualize agriculture and properly situate smallholder farmers in the right conceptualization to ensure we have sustainable production and reduce the mentioning of food insecurity in the country?
Well, we need to appreciate that the smallholder farmers are huge and they are dispersed around the entire country. It's sometimes very difficult to read them. You can't count all the individual farmers to be able to service them well. What we need to do is to encourage them to go into groups. Some will call them cooperatives, some will call them associations, but then they must be in groups. Then two, because they are in groups, it is easier to target them and then service them. And then you make them to peer review each other. Say that if one is not doing well or is not doing it right, the other can prompt the person because they are collectively and jointly and severally responsible for failures when you give them the support. That's one. The other one has to, but not that they are mutually exclusive. The second point is that you should have the commercial farmers who are also around where the smallholders are. You let the smallholder farmers link up to the big commercial farmers who would buy their inputs either for processing or for onward transfer to the market. So you use the huge commercial farmers for them to service the smallholder farmers. For instance, the smallholder farmer in the area does not need to struggle to find transport to carry his produce to the market, but will just sell it to the big commercial farmer there, who would have either linked up with a big transporter who will come and convey everything. So the smallholder farmer goes back to his work and knowing very well that he has sent his produce to this big commercial farmer. And what I'm saying is not new, except that we need to replicate it. If you take the cocoa farmers, they don't carry their cocoa to the market themselves.
No.
They just sell it to the agents or the agents that buy, and then they will now carry it to cocoa board or to wherever it's going. Then the cocoa farmer goes back to continue with his work. So we can do that. And that's why we need to let the two of them, the commercial farmers and the smallholder farmers, work together. You see? So this is how we can solve that problem. Otherwise, the smallholder farmers are too many that if you want to count them one after the other, you will not be able to do so. So they need to be in groups. Then they also need to be linked to the big commercial farmers.
Council, let me thank you this morning. Council Edward Karuwe is the Director of Policy and Advocacy, Legal Entrepreneurship Support Hub, former the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union. Council, congratulations once again, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm very happy for the opportunity. Let's work together to improve the lot for ourselves and for this country.
Thank you. And sure, that's what we shall do. Thank you once again. Ora Edward Karuwe, Panini, Director for Policy and Advocacy, Legal Entrepreneurship Hub. And Kane, now on the Director for Penny Edima General Agricultural Workers Union. Out there say, Yano Action Como. And you see, he brought in a very important aspect of the conversation, which has to do with policy, which is why we are where we are. And when the issue of policy failure comes in, who should be held accountable? Because Fati, I don't see why we have sunk close to 4 billion Ghana cedis, Ghana Fusika, into a program and as into a project. And yet still, we'll go around and be talking about food insecurity.
Sefah, I think that the investment goes into the wrong hole. Let me put it that way. Mostly, no. What are the problems of farmers? Mostly. Problems and so no. Which ones? And I say I'm bibia nye wo ho a the main problems no eba. Severally, we get your friend is saying abundance of products, abundance of farm produce.
Yeah.
We have not been able, we always focus on fertilizer, ebia yebeka irrigation, which is still a problem. Ebia yebeka proper improved seedlings for more moody and obayene adie. Ebia yebeka say yenkofa day old chicks embra poultry farmers near there. But here adie ya producing in ano we fail to ask ourselves that question, and we fail to find the solution to say in the bayana berie na yenya baby fanko yenya man for montono the right price e was motono yenya car e kwa kofa free baby e wo e de aba baby a ebetumi ato a consume yenya baby a ebusu ama yato bia ama omo fridge no omo fridge nyaye ye man the ebeka no still then e de be ye no a honum no I feel so we have not been able to tackle.
Mamemisa Ora Bismarck Owusu Norte, Acting Executive Director, Peasant Farmers Association, said, Ekobana Sanona Omu Inye Etimiye Edianeno, Chano Bayano Mane Broswa, na Omenya Tofwa, Enfanamu Edico, Ora Norte, and a Pemiam Wachimakwaban from a happy morning show. Bibi Aboko, na Ubasi Asema Medical Busana says, Ekuafo mutimi twa no baye no mane broso na eduru brebi a munya baabi a mode kwa aya net mo say
where a couple of sometimes you have to a bit no I know your friend green village. Those ones, because of the nature of that food issue, they would be all happy. Now, if you knew you have a doctor, see a bad at the two, and for a time, you make out of the dog for those who and produce everything. We know Cafe Campuno, members are more have a say. It is very
clear. 2 years ago, is it that you do not want to sell it?
Oh, okay. There are a lot of factors that a particular farmer cannot buy. For instance, maybe not pandemic. They have that is no that now that's the problem. That's not reduce. Yeah, by the way, what is the key? So the senator, I will decide to make it so that time I know the price. Yeah, I don't make it. It is or before but the donor I expect to investment into an entire idea. Warehouse. That's 2 or 3 years ago. So the value of it is not at least sold it or harvested. Those factors are all there. And those are only applicable a year no by year. A year great and It will be something there. What you will have is how we make sure that it will not be infested. Because I'm lucky. Now, results, me, and that will want to know. And so, what you need, I tell you, what you have to do. I will to our night quality. But sleep. Is some because so we have to say now in toast no depending on the of the request any other number of the lifespan now. So the level the here is 3 days. After that period no the tour. And you know what a lot of happens a lot of things to say. When you say a group, now also only the two to be present. It's important. And what you say the two fridge and not fridge one. Not they are. It will be far only for it is some what I'm the door. The everybody said in both the first or now after 1 week we have to reduce the price. In the market room instead of the Albania because of some are not desperate. Also, but not a 2 kilograms. Some are also know on the office that either or selling a last line, not on after lottery. And outside, and you lose completely. The farmers now, they are really into pressure. Also, now, get the moment. In fact, the more, who say, situation now. The cost of living now a sell compare later. I calculation in now. Now that's not at the price on beginning now. So for say because it makes a profit. And profit. That's not later.
And this one, meditate from him because Thursday is World Food Day. And I would want you in the studio for us to have an extensive conversation on because I have a feeling, sir, the explanation that you're giving, for about 45 solid minutes. And give it to me, Abua. What do you know what I'm Brenico, and I would wish that we would continue with this conversation in studio so that you bet me a baby and same up in same pinsemuye. I'm a TFO, especially farmers, and especially those of us who want to enter into the value chain and also into the industry of agriculture to grasp what it is with a Mujumedia Moody. My men was no pay, but we'll have a conversation after my show. Another pay. Ora Bismarck, who's not a acting executive director, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, to say, and running tea and me pesi chunk because I will want him to be with us in the studio for us to extensively talk about some of these issues when it comes to farming and as agriculture. Or anymore Ghana for more numbers. No, what I see a friend, I abandoned home some dear Ghana for nipa baako pɛ ɛna ɛyɛ odidi ntia ne ame nso ɛne mɛfa mo course no mesrɛw ɛne ntia bia ni hɔ bɔne tɛwtɛw na yɛnkɔ 0551 563916 0555 65727882 numbers abɛtumi afrɛ na ɔde aba adwumadi ni so line 2 wɔ ha. Good morning, odin ne baabi afrɛ fi
Sefah-Danquah.
Yes, sir. We Sakura mouthpiece of Ablikuma Central. Yanko.
One and it's out.
I met me also.
Because the woman said, tomatoes. The ocean tomatoes are. And the tomatoes, one. To me, fat tomatoes, you what 5 days, and now 1 week, a pro.
Look great.
The Burkina, president. And your factory no be.
What be?
Yes, to me,
a big question.
Okay, dear Naka.
I like the question. Was it dear Naka?
Dear Naka.
Line 1. Good morning, baby.
Good morning, Sefah.
Yes, sir.
Jobeka.
Joe Bachomienti Wadarama.
Question, I mean, never beside easy.
What's it there, Naka? You bet me, a dear Naka.
Yes. A dear pan, I can't mean. You was the go away, go away unnecessary things, important ones in the young family. Urban northern part. Sir, tomato factory, come and come by ye. Said you no, let's take an album so Anna. I didn't know yen to me Yama. The Yama is a fatter say, no, unnecessary things no more near. Share full quine, I said, do cocoa fire a year, Bianiba, a quine. Anna, your friend is saying, we'll buy a home rice with baby, year doy. Can you imagine, say, you should need proper factory beer and we'll better process rice? We'll buy a home. Your friends, one dam, one factory, you know, I'm saying, come away. I'm with this baby. Echo room where Uncle Siagin. Wow, sha. No Pia. Oh, I'm doing something about agriculture. Namudi a permanent broadian in the ministry. Namudi dada amount for. Because Moody Moose, you can go and buy and come and eat. Now, yes, and we what Sabi farmers now and combat my day. A bobby bread here, but my young yet, Mamma for better money be no. Munye. Charlie Sefah and some of the dorsal.
Joe, oh dear, your friends here. Good morning, how do you be a review?
Good morning, Honorable Sefah.
Bright near Pacho Yanko.
Ghana be ye. Yeah, so Maminchia, Honorable Madiji.
Yenchia, Yanko, and
Honorable Sefah, Honorable Sefah. Ghana. Once and I say how to say Jenny, I'm on for it, Jenny, I'm a Jenny Nina.
Of course, exclusively we reported it live here. One more a Franklin sending important was Jenny go home not for.
Obia Brew, the Kriani, wa Bressa do full. Na Yaja Jenny, na ma Jenny, April. Nancy, say, SLC John Dramani Mama. MPB koye video say tomatoes. Ama omado tomatoes e fu.
Yeah.
Na ama una to for.
Yeah.
Emma especially John Dramani Mama say yenko to sa nneema no nyemfa nkoma yenko la ya omunku sui. Enti da be na de bia sa de ni ebesi na president anaso obi eyi ni bottom sika say yenfa nkoto sa nneema no. Ona wo sefa na me no ye de djuma bi. Commander Sugar Factory. Sugar Factory I see. So many years ago. And that's all. You see a certain committee. Say and sign yes to Shamuban. Minimum. This is wow, Sabana be church.
Baba be treated.
1 year. 1 year na koyo.
Bright, Mama was it. Final call. Good morning, need baby afraid you. Yes, sir. Samson, Yanko.
That's all. Nikoma Matewan.
Amati.
Yeah, Rollins. It's a factory do a tomato factory. I will see a dino. What is the advance would see the Jana machine to go here?
Into machines no go go Amati is here. Omaton machines, you know.
Omaton pipes, you know. Oh, everyone
Orange free so up for bar so no. And now almost tons any money na.
Nti eda no gusu si wo keke da I don't you. Something. Go try for any fabrem. Your videos ni
my number no. Your fabrem. Assassin block 1 block 2 block 3 block 4 block 5. Tomatoes are you farm you. But one ever be boying. Then madam back frame and say no so. What's the matter? You know omo bo apa. And you see almost the ankadwa. Ankadi almost the good in this way and say at the former. To see am no kasa you, Kasifa at the former. Oba so awon price of pen amount. So who discuss akotobi anyedi. It will come on phone where years get come. Obeto getting 2 million or the put just a 10 million because at the phone ma. Omo at the phone na ba no be catch there agugo to phone say. Oh, no, a gunning yet. No, but fun for nobody. I don't know. That's
Mate, make a biamo, Samson, and a friend, age median infants, and I mean, can't say, come and enjoy an incredible 50% discount from Danube Home. Select from our wide range of premium home products across board. It's a perfect opportunity to elevate your living space with top quality furniture, decor, and appliances at unbeatable prices. Please, we exclusive deals, but it won't last for long. Into free Chirakwine, Ewo Abelimpi Junction, opposite Allied Height. Obit me afraid Danube Home 0509 403 664. Danube Home, your ultimate destination for transforming houses into beautiful homes. Don't miss out. A rapper for this will leave. Sorry. Kiara do any ebeye. And Pacho Kayunato Jama. Your partner for clean clothes. Area Coast Jam. Mark the date, 25th of October 2025. Idea Jumadi Nibekoso. Abua Formasia Senate me the 2025 Area Coast Jam. Eddie Ebrewe, Smen of Ice, Munchies, everything cacao, blue jeans, La Kiest, and Rio Cola. Yadia, Sadokro dia, one stop, Sabashable Center. Stroke, diabetes, prostate problems, piles, low sperm count. For the best and effective cocoa medicine. Worry not, Sabash Kobites. Dr. Kwakusaba pe ena ni cocoa drew. Etimi tu cocoa nyinasi every weekend. Na saying na Joe Sanko, cocoa, nisisi, or transga cross. And I'm a baby demand one. Well, boy, 1, 2, 3. Say, see how you're fit. To the Supum Cotton, Hilos, Okanshi, Drag Lane, Little George, Temacom 5, Ekus Pharmacy, at Sherman Main Station. If you have Sabas, a Chirakwine, a La Pass, Upsit, a Brantier Sport, for numbers here. Na, yenyoso, na, yenu inni enkomo. 0508 768 846. And answer 0249 217 453. Sabas Herbal Center. Eyo yadi ni nyina eho ene tubetra. Eyi nubuna hahama ene hahan ene akabomwa yade sawo yade. Bomode na bowura soccer bet so. Bowura soccer bet so soccer chance. Oh, you win even when you're losing. The 14th Ghana Economic Forum, Ebaso 29th of October 2025. Ewa Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Accra. Bomode afa Jumedi what? The 14th Ghana Economic Forum, where Ghana's future is takes shape. A year powered by Business and Financial Times. Joe Sanko and a ball. A year Chidom, Cassia Pa, Emir de Jumedi and the Brown and pay. It's been very educative and informative issue and an pay. We have another conversation because I understand, sir, Metro Mass Transit, there have been sales of some buses across enter ye. Fortuna, we'll have a date with the Air Metro Mass Transit. Live on the show. Ochanopa. But don't miss that conversation. Yes, sir, you're from Young Compassachi this year. Adriana Abradi this year. Chen Hinena na Kwadwo Sefah-Danquah. Happy sports! Crucials in team. Korea Chaskili.